off the basket. Wow.
Get the sense this place is ready to erupt. Skowjak for three. Oh, you got it! Miami also has 5 ball handlers as well, too. They've been adept on the perimeter. Baseline, oh! Brought the roof down!
I'm glad that was the last game of the night because there is no roof. The roof was it was down. After that dunk, the roof came down. They didn't even cancel the game. They just continued playing it until the final whistle. That was crazy, man. Thursday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you. Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy heading up until 2 o'clock. The next 4 hours we've got you. A lot of stuff to get into and talk about today. It's going to be a busy show, packed show. 1 o'clock, we'll play some sports or leisure. $25 at Johnny's Tavern. We give away with a little sports or leisure. Coming up at noon, we will talk with Matt Lane, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. Get his thoughts on the Kansas City Chiefs. Get his thoughts on Emari Demercado, Justin Fields. I want to talk at some point today about the contract construction for Travis Kelce and what that means, how they constructed it. We didn't get into it a couple of days ago. We've been talking a lot of World Baseball Classic and NCAA tournament, so we did not talk about how the Chiefs constructed the contract for Travis Kelce and what that may mean, because we were talking about what if it's all in 1 year? What if there are void years? What does it mean? Are they going all in this year if there are void years? If there are not void years, is it just, okay, they're taking the hits this year because they're looking long-term for how the salary cap health will be? Well, the Chiefs sort of did both, and we'll talk about what that means coming up later on in the show. Coming up an hour from now, very excited to get an opportunity to talk with associate head coach of the Miami Hurricanes, and that is C.Y. Young, former associate head coach of the Missouri Tigers, and we will talk with him coming up at 11 o'clock. He is there at the hotel in St. Louis, said he'll be doing some stuff in the film room and he'll be available, and I told him, I said, look, don't worry about being in the film room and any background noise there. It's a conversation between the two of us. It's in confidence, and nobody will pass along anything to Dennis Gates about what may be heard in the background during some of the film sessions in the film room that may or may not be taking place while we talk in an hour from now. I don't know that he would be so cavalier as to do the interview while some things are going on and Coach Jay Lucas is giving breakdowns and how they're going to attack some particular players defensively. I don't know. But I told him if that happens, it's all good. We won't tell anybody. So that comes up an hour from now.
Just hypothetically speaking, of course.
I don't have any idea. He just said he'll be around there. They got some film stuff they'll be looking at. He'll be in the film room, but he'll be able to find a place, and said whatever you guys need. And so he even said if you need a couple of segments, I'll hang out with you. I'm like, really? It's like, yeah, awesome. So that's what we're going to do at 11 o'clock. We'll see what where the conversation goes with C.Y. Young, because I can't imagine the emotions that went through his mind and body when you see the 7 seed Miami, and that's your team, and the 10 seed pops up, and as that thing is coming across the screen and being revealed, and it says Missouri, honestly, I can only imagine what was going on in his mind at that time. I bet it was just emotional, heart-sinking excitement to sadness, excitement to maybe annoyance. I have no idea. I know that me personally, a year ago, I had talked about how much I was going to be rooting for Drake in the tournament because of Ben McCollum in Northwest Missouri State and Ben Stennett and Liberty in Northwest Missouri State and the 5 other Northwest Missouri State players on Drake, that was going to be awesome. Let's see where they go, who they play, because I will be picking them and rooting for them in the tournament. And so help me God, if they have to face off against Missouri, that's going to be really annoying if that's the case. And, of course, that happened. And I'm like, dude, of all the teams, not that it's like, hey, I think Missouri's going to lose the game, and they did. But it's like, man, I wanted to root for Northwest Missouri State's Ben McCollum at Drake and the Northwest Missouri State Bearcats Bulldogs at Drake. I wanted to do that. but I can't do that while they're playing Mizzou. But if Mizzou loses, hey, then I'll be rooting for Drake the rest of the way. If Mizzou wins, I'll feel bad for the Drake team and Ben McCollum and what they were able to accomplish, and unfortunately won't be able to root for that upset. That's how I felt last year. Masiello was a assistant coach a long time for Rick Pitino, and he went on and coached at Manhattan. And like his second year at Manhattan, he got him into the tournament, and it was like a 4-13, something like that matchup. And 4-13, Louisville versus Manhattan, and Rick Pitino was downright pissed at his press conference, and he was like, "It's ridiculous."
You know, was pissed was Jerome Tang.
Yeah, that too. Yes, but it was like I'm pissed right now.
Yeah.
That's what Rick Pitino said. He's like, Isn't it amazing? It's amazing how pissed I am right now. It's embarrassing for the tournament to do this." Because he was like, he's like a son to me. He's like, they have to be aware that this guy has been my assistant for a long time. And now, I don't know that the committee was sitting there going, hey, let's not put Miami versus Missouri because of C.Y. Young. I don't think that's the case at all. But because C.Y. Young isn't the head coach at Miami. Masiello was the head coach at Manhattan. But that to me was the human part of it, to when I'm like, oh, yeah, it's not just, that's pretty cool. You know, you're going up against Manhattan and you're assistant coach, and that's kind of a storyline. And he was like, no, that's not fun at all. That sucks. It's like, I'm not even going to enjoy it, because I'm going to do everything I can to pick apart his team, and when we win, I'm going to feel bad about it. You know, and if we lose, I'm going to feel terrible. So it's like there's no winning situation for me personally. I understand that. I don't know that that's the case for C.Y. Young. We'll ask him coming up at 11 o'clock, but I can only imagine the connection he has with all of these players he helped recruit and got to know over the years as high school kids, and, you know, his 3 years at Mizzou. And now he's at Miami doing everything he can to knock that team out of the tournament and to end Mark Mitchell's career.
All I know is it's Christmas today, and there's
Damn right.
32 presents under the Christmas tree.
Are there really?
And they all bleeping slap.
Yeah, they do. Every one of them slaps. Like, there are hands that are being slapped right now. No punches, just slaps.
Dude, I woke up in such a phenomenal mood.
You don't sound like it.
Two things. Well, I had a lot of stuff going on, but yes, mostly good. Mostly good.
You sound like you're in a good mood. So
I'm in a phenomenal mood because one, Miami, Ohio won, baby.
That's it. You're right
all
about that.
the bleeping doubters and the haters, you can go ahead and
suck it.
Kick rocks.
Kick a rock.
Pound sand.
Play in traffic.
Auburn. Stephen Pearl.
Long walk off a short pier.
Check yourself. We have 16 beautiful games today.
Yeah, they are.
16 gorgeous games. It's like The Bachelor.
Is that right?
You get to choose your pick. You have your pick of games. It's a buffet. It's a poo-poo platter of games today.
Okay.
A smorgasbord, if you will.
That sounds better, but, you know. It's a charcuterie board of games.
This is my moment. This is my one shining moment.
So you're saying, like, at 9 o'clock tonight, Chris Harrison's going to walk out, or Jesse Palmer, whoever now, and says, Idaho, Houston, it's the final rose. NCAA tournament whenever you're ready. And then they will hand the rose to the last game.
Correct.
Tonight. I see. It's just like The Bachelor or Bachelorette. I see.
Oh, my goodness, am I excited.
Yeah, clearly. You are pumped. The games get underway at 11:15. TCU, Ohio State. That should be a really fun matchup today with TCU and Ohio State. We'll do some live listen-ins as the show goes along, as some of these games are happening. Troy, Nebraska gets underway at 11:40. Will Nebraska pull off the historic win for their program and get their first win? I do wonder on True TV at 11:40 today, what's the over-under that you would put at how many times they mentioned Nebraska's never won an NCAA tournament game during that broadcast? Like 11.5 over-under?
I'll go the exact number as their favorite against Troy, 13.5.
13.5? I'll probably go over.
Yeah.
Even if it's 13.5, I'll probably go over. That may be extreme, but they're probably going to talk about it a lot. And they'll probably mention during the broadcast that Willie Cauley-Stein played football in high school, and they'll mention a lot of these different things along the way of all these crazy things that it's like,
Do you know Chris Hogan was a lacrosse player?
I heard about that. Yeah. Kent State quarterback that ended up going to the New England Patriots to play wide receiver. for Tom Brady.
Edelman.
And, yes, Julian Edelman was a quarterback in college. Thank you.
Do you know that Tony Gonzalez played college basketball?
For Cal. Can you believe that? Like
Crazy.
in the NCAA tournament. Unbelievable. Really cool. So an hour from now, the games get underway. An hour from now, we will talk with C.Y. Young, then Matt Lane coming up at noon. So I wanted to talk a little bit about something that's been discussed since last night, because I find it to be an interesting discussion, and I can understand how people can be passionate on both sides of the ledger on this one, and that is Miami of Ohio playing USF. And the...
Wait.
Or, sorry, SMU, not USF.
Okay.
SMU. Yeah, that would be crazy if they were playing USF last night, because South Florida... I had South Florida in my mind because of a conversation we're going to get into in the second segment around South Florida and their head coach, Brian Hodgson. And oddly enough, I find myself agreeing with Stephen Pearl. Anyway, yeah, I was just as surprised as you are. But last night, SMU and Miami of Ohio. B.J. Edwards does not play. On Sunday, Selection Committee Chair Keith Gill had talked about those teams that were the last selections in the tournament. One of those last selections was SMU. And in fact, I think SMU was the last selection of the entire tournament. Because he said Miami of Ohio was the last at-large bid when they did the scrubbing process, but the last team selected in the tournament was SMU. That was the last team in the tournament. NC State, Texas, SMU. Miami of Ohio was actually selected to the tournament before those teams. And one of the things he talked about, because he was asked, hey, B.J. Edwards hasn't played in like a month. And he said, our understanding is that B.J. Edwards is healthy, will play, and it's part of the reason why they made the tournament. You know who didn't play last night? B.J. Edwards. Now, the conversation has come about of, well, that seems like that's a pretty shady deal by SMU to say, no, B.J. Edwards is good to go, he's going to play. He's day-to-day, but we feel confident. And on Wednesday, we feel confident he's going to be out there. And part of the reason, whether it should be or not, I don't think it should be. That's sort of where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Part of the reason was, well, we think B.J. Edwards is going to play, and they're a different team with B.J. Edwards. So when he's out there, they're a tournament team. We've taken that into consideration. That's why SMU is in over, say, an Oklahoma that's finished on fire. Over, say, an Auburn that's finished the same way they played most of their conference schedule. Over one of these other teams. Stanford, Indiana, that did themselves no service by losing to sub-500 teams in their conference tournaments. But then B.J. Edwards doesn't play. And it's not why they lost to Miami of Ohio, because what we saw last night, Sterling, is what you've been talking about, is Miami of Ohio isn't going to have the most talented players out there, but that team is connected. That team is a team. They know where everybody is. That's what a team looks like. Of when players out there are connected and on the same wavelength. Yeah, thank you. That's what I was going to go with.
We're on right now.
Yes, yes, so we got that ESPN. You know, when they're on that same wavelength, they look like that. Where even when SMU makes a run, 13-0 run like that, like it was like immediate blink of an eye, an immediate run.
They had 20 assists on 29 buckets.
Is that it?
They had only 4 turnovers the entire game.
Mike, wavelength. It was 4 turnovers. I was going to say 4 turnovers the entire game. He said 4 turnovers. See, we keep finishing each other's sandwiches.
That's a 5 assist to turnover ratio in a game against a pretty good ACC team. And so I'm enamored by Miami, Ohio. That's why I say I like some of these smaller teams that do what they did in the regular season, because the ball movement, the shooting, these guys are all great players. But instead of being 6'8", they're 6'4", right? That's a big difference. I've always said this for a long time. Did you see how they broke the press of SMU?
I saw most of it. We were doing the player pool draft at Seren's last night. I can go through the entire draft if you want to. Every round 1 through 20.
I'm good.
Okay.
Zero.
Just wanted to throw it out there.
Zero panic.
Yeah.
Like, how many times you see players in teams crumble down the stretch of, oh my gosh, how do we break this? It's like we've never seen a press. We go to the corner, you run to the corner, you freak out, and then you just immediately go to the corner, get trapped, and
you allow yourself to get double teamed.
It was like when Missouri played Vanderbilt. Remember? And they were up so much, and then Vandy got that crazy pressure, and they collapsed.
Yes.
They barely won.
Yep.
But they collapsed. Miami, Ohio didn't collapse. They ended up actually making it look easy. They never took their foot off the gas, which at a couple points I thought, hey, maybe slow it down a little bit. You don't need to get threes off with 4 seconds left on the shot clock. You get an offensive rebound, kick it out, immediate three with 2 minutes left in the game with the lead. But they were aggressive. They made their free throws. They did their job, and they did not turn the ball over. They were so fun to watch. If you like, again,
apples,
more old school basketball. If you grew up watching college basketball with good shooters, great ball movement, not turning the ball over, not any real hero ball, then you're going to love Miami, Ohio.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw.
41 threes they took last night, and they shot 40% from three. Shooting 40%, it's like, well, maybe you should have shot a few more. It's like 16 of 41 from behind the arc last night.
Elmer was nuts. Elmer was just launching, and it was. And by the way, they did this with probably their best player, Peter Suter.
Yeah.
Had maybe the worst game of the guy. I mean, he was very physical.
He struggled the last few games, though. I mean, he struggled in that game against UMass, and then he came out and struggled last night against SMU. But that's the point of having a team, is they've got a couple of other guys that average 14 points per game. Mm-hmm. And those guys stepped up, and, you know, Elmer hits 6 threes, Byers hits 4 threes, Skajic hits 3 threes. Like, everybody stepped up because Suter went 0 for 4. And you got enough guys there to help out. So it was a cool night last night for Miami of Ohio. Whether this matters or not for Mizzou and Miami tomorrow, the ACC is now 0-2 in the NCAA tournament. I don't like the conference comparisons in the NCAA tournament or bowl games because, you know, those things are all about matchups. So take it for what you will. But the ACC has now lost 2 teams, one to the MAC and one to the SEC in Texas. Now, Missouri ain't doing much bragging in their game against Texas, so they ain't got much to feel good about from that game in one of the eggs that they laid there. So it was B.J. Edwards doesn't play, and I'm on the side of, if you felt like they were a tournament team, and it'd be different if, like, A.J. DeBansa wasn't going to play, or A.J. DeBansa was returning. Right? Hey, A.J. DeBance's missed 3 weeks, but he's coming back. All right? He's coming back. And he's cleared. Coach said he's day-to-day, but he's going to play. We're confident he's going to play, and they're a different team with him. That'd be different. B.J. Edwards is a fine player. But to go from, well, I think they're in or not based on whether this guy's going to play or not, and is not, you know, the best player. It's not Boopy, you know, it's a great name. It's not Boopy Miller that averages 20 points per game for SMU. That'd be different. I know a lot of people are like, well, then SMU shouldn't have been in the tournament then. This is shady business by SMU to say that he was going to be day-to-day, but they're confident he's going to play. And then I think it was the selection committee chair giving an excuse that's sort of easy of like, well, SMU did this down the stretch, and look what Oklahoma was doing. Well, we think B.J. Edwards is going to return.
SMU did a lot down the stretch, by the way. They were good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, and they did it without B.J. Edwards. So it's like even if you just said, hey, we're going to put him in the tournament, but to have that as part of the reasoning, there are elements where I think you can take into injuries into account. This one, I don't care. So
never mind. There were buns down the stretch.
I don't think that they were. Yeah, because B.J. Edwards didn't play.
My fault. I was looking at a different team. SMU was buns down the stretch. They went 1-5.
Yeah, and that one game was against Syracuse, and then they fired their coach. Well, they fired their coach already, but still.
Boeheim?
Yeah, Boeheim's out. Jerry McNamara in once he loses to Siena, or once he loses to Duke, I should say, at Siena. But their reasoning was, well, they're going to get B.J. Edwards back. I don't think it should matter. If they're a tournament team, they're a tournament team. If it's a high-level player, I think you take it into account. But I think you only take it into account, Sterling, if it's a player returning. Because let's say DeBansa missed a month, and BYU is and Richie Saunders is healthy. Let's say BYU's fully healthy,
sure,
right? And DeBansa missed a month, and BYU starts losing, and they end up being like a 9 seed. But DeBance's fully cleared on Sunday, Selection Sunday, and he's practicing. There's video. He's dunking. He's doing everything. They're like, no, he is good to go. We held him out of the Big 12 tournament because we figured we were already in, and we are good to go with DeBance. Making them a 9 seed isn't fair to the 1 seed because they're not a 9 seed with that guy playing. That, to me, is a little bit of a different scenario if you've got a player like that returning, but a player playing or not based on, one of your 5 starters, and you finished terrible down the stretch, and you barely made it into the tournament, and you get beat down by Stanford, which is not a tournament team. You lose by double digits to Florida State, not a tournament team, and then you lose by 4 to Louisville without Louisville's best player out there. And B.J. Edwards didn't play either, but still. They're a tournament team. I don't like the shadiness if that's the case,
sure.
But I also don't think it should have made a difference. If they think they're in the tournament, put them in the tournament whether B.J. Edwards is going to play or not.
The bubble was just so bad that someone was going to get in that probably wasn't deserving. Yeah. I mean, if we're being honest, it's why my frustration with Miami, Ohio being the Final Four, last 4, just because I thought they earned the right to not be that. But, I mean, you look at Texas, they were, 18-14. You look at SMU, who crumbled down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't this always the conversation when we're talking about the bubble teams?
This
is the reason why they're on the bubble.
This felt worse this year.
There was a Mike DeCourcy had some tweets last week as we were talking about the bubbles, like Thursday or Friday, right? And after most of these bubble teams that were trying to get in had already lost to bad teams, like Stanford and Indiana lost to bad teams.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, these bubble teams are ending their season. Like, it's like, hey, Missouri, bubble watch. There's nothing to watch. Teams behind you have already lost. That's why they ended up being a 10 seed.
Yeah.
Because teams behind them already lost. They lose their last 3 games, and it didn't matter because nobody surpassed them by playing better basketball. And so Mike DeCourcy was tweeting about it, and then somebody tweeted out like the wins over bubble, and historically speaking, and this was the worst sort of bubble teams that were ranked there. And it was like, no, this actually, statistically speaking, is the worst bubble we've seen in a long time. I'm like, well, that makes sense. So that's fine.
But I'm with you overall. It shouldn't affect the. I have thought that for a while. It's why the Jordan Travis Florida State one was so difficult. Again, football and basketball will be a little different if you're the quarterback. If it would have been a left tackle, their star wide receiver wouldn't have mattered, but it was the quarterback. It's the only position I think in football that makes that difference. Basketball, again, if it was Cooper Flagg would have been out, right? Then okay, sure, we maybe see that, but we're not talking Cooper Flagg for SMU,
something like that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're not talking to Bonson. We're not. So
congrats to Miami. They move on and they get ready for a Tennessee squad that's going to be pretty tough because their best player returned in the SEC tournament. Native Mint had missed a couple of games, but he came back and played. So we'll take a timeout. We'll come back, and I agree with Stephen Pearl.
I'm gonna hurl.
I don't even know. I don't even recognize myself right now. I can't even look at myself in the mirror right now. I can't even look at you right now. I feel ashamed. I'm like a puppy that just pooped in the house. Like I'm just walking around with my head down. Like, yeah, I know I did wrong. I had to poop.
That's what the smell is in the office.
Damn it.
You get a bonus. You get a bonus. You get a bonus. Everyone gets a bonus because right now FanDuel is dropping bonus bets into everyone's account for the tournament. All you have to do is opt in to claim your bonus. It's just that simple. Use them on bracket picks, money lines, spreads, totals, game props, or even same-game parlays. Go spicy. Go safe. The choice is up to you. But do not wait, because if you wait, they will be gone. These bonus bets are only available for a limited time. This is the time of the year to get involved and have some fun. This is like Christmas to me. Hopefully it is for like you guys as well. 16 games today, 16 games tomorrow. So much fun, and the choice is all up to you. Ride with who you want to ride with, and FanDuel makes it so much better with these bonus bets that are being dropped into your account. Visit FanDuel.com/local to learn more.
21 plus and present in Missouri. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $500 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I will continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, heading up until 2 o'clock. Make sure you go and fill out the bracket challenge on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Brought to you by Tiki Taco and Dave & Buster's. Some cool stuff that you can win with the bracket challenge at Sports Radio 810 WHB. Just go and fill that out there and join in for the bracket challenge. We're in there. The three of us have our brackets in there, so you can do that as well. Got about, a half hour?
Yeah.
A little more than a half hour?
37 minutes.
Is that right? Okay.
The ghost of Jimmer is going to take you guys all down.
Is that right? The Ghost of Jimmer.
Ooh, this is a good name in our group. I see the Gates Full Dead.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's
Dennis
cool.
Gates. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, I see what it's. Okay, that makes sense. My bad.
Pretty good.
I was not even thinking about that. All right, 913-912-4810. We went through our Final Four picks. We'll do that. Well, actually, we didn't get Michael's Final Four picks yesterday, did we? Did we get your Final Four picks yesterday, Michael?
No. I filled out my bracket last night before the night shift.
Okay, so it's good that we didn't ask you yesterday, huh?
Yes. Actually, a very good call.
Good.
I had to really think about it because I didn't want it to be super chalky, but it kind of ended up being super chalky.
Okay. Well, you know what? Last year was pretty chalky, so saying that it's going to be a chalky tournament this year, well, we'll see if that's the case. All right, so I'd mentioned that I don't really want to agree with Stephen Pearl, but here we are. So if you missed the story a couple of weeks ago, there was an assistant coach that had showed up at the A-Sun tournament. And the coach, who was the coach of Queens, which is Grant Leonard, Queens in North Carolina, they are playing Purdue. He said that there was a coach, an assistant coach, that was there right in the front of the tournament, or in front row, watching our players, scouting the players from the A-Sun tournament. He tweeted that from the clip in the field of 68 with Brian Hodgson of South Florida. So let's listen into Brian Hodgson of South Florida talking about some coaches or assistant coaches that may or may not show up to certain tournament games to scout players for the transfer portal.
We do a good job with our guys, and I've got a very close relationship with them. So any of these clowns out here that think they're gonna reach out to my guys before the season ends and start sending the DMs and having the third party, I will find you. I'm not like the rest of these college basketball coaches. We will have a face-to-face conversation. I can promise you that.
You know we're clipping.
Hold on.
Wait. You know we're clipping this. We're going to put this
no.
out there for everybody to see.
I want it out there because there's some real clowns out there, and it may work with other people. It doesn't work with me. We're all going to be in Indianapolis. I will find you. And we should I repeat what's the movie with Liam Neeson, Taken? I've got a particular set of skills that make me a nightmare for people.
Hodgson, hold on, man.
So he's the head coach of South Florida. And Stephen Pearl was talking about, and Grant Leonard of Queens put out the tweet that, there was a particular assistant coach. You can go and look at it. It's right there on the broadcast. And that was eventually connected to Ian Borders, the assistant coach at Auburn. And he was there at the A-Sun tournament. I think there's a clear distinction between what may or may not have happened or just the general conversation around it. Today's college basketball, recruiting is transfers. I mean, you can recruit high school kids, but it's so much about the transfer portal, right? Missouri's playing Miami. None of those players in their top 7 were on Miami last year. They have 5 transfers and 2 freshmen that play for them. Everybody's a transfer. We see it all over the country. So if you are simply showing up to a conference tournament game as an assistant coach, that to me is now no different than showing up to a high school game and trying to recruit the player. As long as you aren't then contacting said player or talking with player or player's family or anything while you're there. Now, it would be tough to police that.
Sure.
But a lot of times, coaches will show up in the non-contact period in high school recruiting and just show up wearing the shirt. Hey, here's the logo of my team, and I'm here in attendance. I can't talk to you, but you know I'm here, and that's how interested we are. It's non-contact, and I'm still here watching you. I can't contact you, but I'm here. And I don't even think if you're there recruiting, it's not to make contact with that guy because typically money wins out. It's to see who should we offer, because this is now big-time college basketball. And if this player and that player in the transfer portal, well, we had somebody there in person watching them. We can watch film and stuff like that, but you know what? There are no rules that were broken. And that's essentially what Stephen Pearl said, is like there are no rules that were broken, which is the case. If you are contacting the players and talking to them, then that is tampering. Then there are rules that are broken, and I do think that should be something to where the NCAA, with however sharp their teeth can be in today's college basketball world, should be looking into it. But I would hope that Missouri and Kansas State have their coaches scouting all of these different conferences for the next great transfer from those teams to play at your school.
I don't understand how watching the players at a tournament is frowned upon in the slightest. You're right. It's like high school now at this point. Whether you like it or not, that's the reality. I know it sucks for some of those non-Power 5 schools. I get that. But I think if you don't adjust or at least understand that, you're naive at best. If you're contacting, I completely understand. I get where he's coming from. Like, if you contact my players, we're going to have an issue. Hey, I'm with you. I agree. That's not right, especially in you're in the tournament. That's not right. But going to the games and being there is, if Missouri didn't send guys to that, you'd be upset. You'd say, well, why wouldn't you want to recruit maybe the best of the, mid-majors? You should be doing that. You'd want them to be doing that. And again, I think your best point is, again, it's not really high school as much anymore. You do this in the mid-majors. That's your feeder program. I know it sucks. I know it's, if you're a smaller school, you don't like to hear that. But, I mean, hell, people go and try and steal Missouri's players.
Yeah, offer them money. It's there if they're in the transfer portal. And, look, tampering takes place. And you reach out and say, would you like to come here? We've got money for you. And the rule that it goes...
KU took Wisconsin's A.J. Storr and Alabama's Ryland Griffin.
That worked out.
And Michigan...
No, maybe they should have had somebody recruiting them.
It didn't work, but look, they took Hunter Dickinson from those games. They took Hunter Dickinson from Michigan. Like, no one's safe.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're leaving Michigan, no one's safe.
Yeah. And Miami's point guard, Trey Donaldson, was at Michigan last year.
Yes.
So he left Michigan as well. Nobody's safe. But the rule that they're getting into is, remember the Michigan coach with Jim Harbaugh that was going and scouting and doing all of those things. That's not okay.
But it wasn't Jim.
It was not Jim. No, and he didn't even know about it. That's what's crazy about it, is that some rogue assistant was out, coming up with this entire scheme of all of those things. But the NCAA prohibits you from in-person scouting future opponents, which, stupid, whatever. I think it's so dumb. But what Stephen Pearl said, and I agree with him, is that going to another conference's basketball tournament is not against the rules with that rule they're citing, because there is no future opponent at this time. We haven't even set our schedule for next year. We don't have the future opponents there. You're talking about a rule to where somebody is going in person to watch a team play that you're playing in 2 weeks. So it wouldn't fall under that purview. We're simply recruiting. And I would want the coach or assistant coaches of the teams that I'm rooting for. I don't need the guy that's doing the scout for that team that week to be out there. But if you've got somebody down the bench And as part of your recruiting, well, we were going to go to this high school game this week. Okay, well, we're going to go to this conference tournament this week because there are a couple of players there that we might be looking at if they put their name in the transfer portal. Now, if contact happens, then there's an issue. But other than that, I think it's fair game. I'm totally fine with it, and I find myself agreeing with Stephen Pearl. I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of that at all. I'm a fan of Christopher Atkins. We'll talk with him on the other side of the break. Get you set for the games that'll be starting at 11:15. He's going to get you set with a little more than a rooting interest. We'll talk with him coming up next. And then C.Y. Young, associate head coach at Miami, former associate head coach for the Missouri Tigers for 3 years. We'll talk with him at 11 o'clock. Matt Lane at noon. Sports or Leisure, 1 o'clock. More Zone next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, hanging out on this Thursday edition. The game's right around the corner. We're getting closer. The countdown continues to go on. And right now, getting you set for the games and all college basketball tournament bettors. You need to please listen in closely because on the line once again is the bookie killer, Christopher Atkins, owner of GBIWins.com. Chris has established tremendous information on 2 tournament college basketball games and willing to release his free information on the recorded hotline. All you got to do right now is dial 1-800-885-2525. That's 1-800-885-2525 and get his winner absolutely free. Welcome aboard, Chris. What do you got in store for us today? We get rolling in about a half hour.
Jason, what's happening? Thanks for having me. I'm usually on the early show with Steven, but it's great having you and being on your show. Guys, it's the time of year where you can make a significant amount of money with this tournament. The bottom line is this. I've got 2 games going off. South Florida is playing Louisville at 1:30 Eastern Time, and then this evening, Texas is playing BYU at 7:25 Eastern Time. And the bottom line is I've got tremendous information on both games, and it's absolutely free. It's on my free recorded hotline. So all you have to do right now is dial 1-800-885-2525. Again, that's 1-800-885-2525. You'll be connected to my free recorded hotline where you're going to get both winners. Once again, 1:30 Eastern Time, South Florida playing Louisville, and 7:25 Eastern Time, Texas playing BYU. Guys, information makes money. I've been in the sports handicapping world for 24 years. I know how to make money on a consistent basis. The bottom line is these 2 games are what I call bankroll builders. We are going to build a bankroll for this weekend. Guys, information is astounding. So all you have to do, again, is dial 1-800-885-2525. There's no sales pitches. There's no hype. I'm going to give you my 2 winners absolutely free on my free recorded hotline.
I love that there's 6-11 games, too, because those are the fun ones, man. You know, the 12-5s, the 6-11s, those things, like, we have seen, Chris, over the years, and the information is needed when it comes to the bettors because these 6-11 games, you know, 20, 30 years ago, you're like, well, 6 seeds going to win. I mean, 11 seeds in the tournament, it almost feels like a 50-50 coin flip at times with some of these upsets. Sometimes you get, I think the 11 seed's going to win, 6 seed wins by 25. You're like, what happened? Oh, the 6 seed is too good for this 11 seed. And the 11 seed goes and wins, and it was like, man, the wrong team was favored there, even though the seeds were, you know, the way they were.
Yep, Jason, you're so right about that. I mean, anything could happen on any given game day. We know that. I mean, you got some great games going off today. Tomorrow, my alma mater is playing Hofstra, believe it or not.
Nice.
Hofstra University, playing Alabama. I mean, I don't even think that Hofstra should take the plane ride, but who knows? Like you said, anything could go on. But again, we establish information. We don't just throw darts at a dartboard here. You know, we get tremendous information from different contacts around the country. And that's why we only picked 2 games today. I mean, there's multiple games going on today, also NBA, but we're locked in on these 2 games. Once again, at 1:30 Eastern Time, South Florida playing Louisville. I've got tremendous information on that game. It's free. It's on my free recorded hotline again. All you have to do right now, just to try us out, is dial 1-800-885-2525. Again, it's 1-800-885-2525. You'll be connected to my free recorded hotline. You'll get that winner, South Florida, Louisville, and then you decide if you want to get involved with us or not. It's very simple.
And it's not really throwing a dart. Remind me again, what was your record in last year's tournament?
Oh, I don't like to brag, Jason. I don't like to brag, but we were 28-4. We won a major contest in Vegas about that. And you're 100% right. Throwing the dart makes the bookmakers rich. I don't like bookmakers. I'm a bookie killer, okay? Again, I've established information on this first game as well as the Texas BYU game tonight. So it's 2 games, and it's absolutely free. And once again, Jason, all they have to do right now is dial 1-800-885-2525. Again, that's 1-800-885-2525. Give us a call. Get the information, and then make a decision if you want to join the firm.
Yeah, he's the bookie killer for a reason. And once again, Chris knows he had to beat the book against the point spread on any given game day. And you know what? This year, again, willing to prove it absolutely free on the free recorded hotline, 1-800-885-2525, 1-800-885-2525. You can build your bankroll for the tournament today. Chris, as always, brother, I appreciate it. Best of luck today with those couple of teams. We'll talk to you tomorrow when we get set to watch your alma mater Hofstra get in action. Yes, sir. You are the man. Thank you for having me. And once again, call my free recorded hotline, 1-800-885-2525. Have a great day. All right, there you go. Christopher Atkins, GBIwins.com, 1-800-885-2525. Games getting underway right around the corner, about 15 minutes or so from tip. Here we go. We'll take a timeout and getting you set for the basketball tournament with Missouri coming up tomorrow night. We'll take a timeout, come back. We'll talk with associate head coach of the Miami Hurricanes, C.Y. Young. That comes up next here in the Zone on Sports Radio 810 WHB. All right, we'll continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you this Thursday edition of The Zone, heading up until 2 o'clock, tournament getting rolling. And tomorrow night, the Missouri Tigers will be taking on the Miami Hurricanes, and a man very familiar with both teams. It is associate head coach of the Miami Hurricanes, C.Y. Young, joining us here in The Zone. C.Y., how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great. Doing great. Good to be with you this morning.
Well, it's good to have you on. I'm curious as to how this week's been for you. Sunday, the bracket is announced, and what have the last 4 days or so been like for you?
All year we've had a really good first year here at Miami, and so I was really excited about just being able to being picked 14th and to finish third in the league and to get a bye and the selection Sunday to be, really comfortable. Hey, we don't know where we're going, but we're in the dance. So if you've been in coaching like I have for 33 years, you really have to cherish the times where the season is over and you're fully confident that you're in the tournament. There's not many people that have that feeling. Now, I say all that to say this. The second I sat down and they called Miami and then they called Missouri, I was miserable.
I bet.
I was miserable. And those guys are family.
Mm-hmm.
They will always be family. Dennis Gates and I are brothers. We've been in this thing together a long time. The guys on their staff, I love tremendously. Dickie Nutt, Matt Klein, Sharbaugh was a GA for me at Florida State. Smith Peters. I love their families, their kids, their wives. I spent 3 years there, and I would like to think we had a tremendous amount of success together. 2 out of 3 NCAA tournaments. We had a unfortunate second year when the entire team got hurt, but 2 out of 3 NCAA tournaments with those guys, and I'm not going to enjoy it, obviously, if we lose, and I'll probably enjoy it less if we win. So it's a tough one. I knew it was coming because the NCAA committee, they have a sense of humor for sure. I don't think it was an accident, but somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose, and I hate it. But when you're in this profession, sometimes you're in a situation where you got to compete and you got to do what you got to do for your program, your administration, and your friends and your family.
Yeah, absolutely. C.Y. Young is our guest. It happened with me last year. Obviously, following and rooting for Missouri, I went to Northwest Missouri State, and a Kansas City kid, and, Bennett Sturts at Liberty, like I'm rooting for them at Northwest, and then, Ben McCollum at Drake, and I'm like, man, whoever Drake plays, I'm pulling for Drake. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Come on, man. And I'm like, I'll be happy, obviously, if Missouri wins. I'll be disappointed for Ben McCollum and Bennett Sturts, and if Drake wins, I'll be annoyed and frustrated and disappointed. But then I'll become a Drake fan after that. Like, it sucks. But the he went to Manhattan. Masiello, I think was his name.
Right.
And they put Louisville versus Manhattan in the first round. And Rick's press conference right after that, like, he was legit mad. And he was like, they knew what they were doing. They knew that. He's like, it's gonna be torture. He's like, this guy's like a son to me, and we're gonna have to go and do everything we can to beat him, and it's gonna crush him, and I'm not even really gonna enjoy it if we win. Like, that to me hit it, like the emotional part when I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that is different than that's so cool you're facing your assistant in the first round. No, that's not cool.
No, and let me tell you this. All right, like, we're all big boys and we're competitors.
Yeah,
and. So I saw an interview that Dennis did, and the first thing, I think it was Natalie, who I really liked when I was there. Like, I know the reporters, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird. Like, it's Natalie, and she asked him, "Have you talked to CY?" And I see his face, and he says, "No, I hadn't talked to him." And then he changes the subject. You know what I mean? Like, to be honest, I hadn't called him neither. Like, it's tough.
Yeah.
We can all, the guys on their staff, they can tell their kids, oh, don't talk to CY, or this is battle, or this is war, you know what I mean? And you can do all that. But the truth is, I'm in their hearts.
Yeah.
And the truth is, they're in mine.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm so proud of Dennis Gates and that staff, man. Just like the head coach and CEO he's become. And, for Dennis Gates to go to 3 out of 4 NCAA tournaments there, in the MIZ fan base, they grumble and they rumble and they fuss and they fight, and I get it because they're passionate fans. One of my favorite places I've ever coached. Like I miss coaching at Missouri, those games, the fan base and how passionate they are. I don't like that they get a little negative at times. I think they hurt themselves and they hurt their own kids because they don't realize that those kids become beat up emotionally in the way they handle them. But you cannot say a word about Dennis Gates and that staff and the job he's done in the first 4 years. 3 out of 4 NCAA tournaments. Are you kidding me? Are you looking around at some of these other programs with the way college basketball has changed and how hard it is and the NIL era and transfer portal? Hey, you could be Memphis.
Yeah, right. You never know.
I mean? Like you could be and has done it in the best league in the country.
Mm-hmm.
They have done it in the NBA South. Last year when I was in the SEC,
Yeah.
it was historical. So to go to 3 out of 4 NCAA tournaments in the NBA South, it's an incredible job of Dennis Gates and that staff. I tell you, I'm more hurt that it comes out, and I'm thinking about Trent Burns' 2 little twin sisters. They like my babies. They call me Uncle CY.
Wow.
And I want to call them so bad, and I know they want to call me. They're probably looking around like, Uncle CY ain't called me. We playing. And they hurt, you know what I mean? Or Trent Pierce's mom, or, Aunt Robinson is my baby. He was born in my house. He was raised in my house.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like, it's so many heartstrings being pulled. But we both got to find a way to be professional and compete. And, I'm like Rick Pitino. When it came out, I knew they were going to do it. I knew it. When the name come up, I was like, and Trey Donaldson and Aunt Robinson, they played on the same high school team with my sons. They all won a state championship together here in Florida. So it's going to be an emotional game, and both teams got to find a way to just control their emotional intelligence and compete and try to survive in advance, because it's hard to get to this point and it's rare.
C.Y. Young is our guest. What was the reaction around there in Miami? Because I know what it was around here and nationally when it's the 10 seed Missouri in St. Louis. What's that conversation been like around the Hurricanes and being the 7 seed wearing the home jersey with what would be expected to be a road crowd?
Now, we weren't happy about that now.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Oh, yeah, we weren't happy about that. We thought we would go to Tampa or Philly and, really thought we would go to Tampa at least. But, we've been winning on the road all year. To be honest with you, sometimes it's an advantage to be able to go away and focus and not have the distractions of needing tickets and family and friends, and sometimes that can work against you. To be honest, I think it worked against us last year when I was at Mizzou. We were playing in Wichita, and Drake got us, and I just felt like us being that close, it hurt us more than it helped us, just from a distraction standpoint and family standpoint. And I'm also saying this, I don't get emotional. I read the data. I've been to the Elite Eight, I guess, twice, and at Florida State, and we were off in L.A. and Sacramento. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and we
right.
were off. We weren't. The times that one time I was a 2 seed with an unbelievable team. Gates and I were together, and Gates and I used to talk about this all the time. This team probably was the most talented team we ever had, and the most talented team Florida State has ever had. And we were a 2 seed, and we got upset by Xavier in Orlando. And we had Jonathan Isaac, we had Dwayne Bacon, we had Terrence Mann, we had Mfiondu Kamangeli, we had Trent Forrest, we had Malik Beasley. We had sent in Orlando by Xavier, and I was like, that was one of the times, like, man, I wish they would have sent us to L.A. So at the end of the day, you got to play the game. I'm proud of those guys. I'm happy for those guys, those kids, those families. I was very close to being a part of recruiting a lot of those guys. And, the bigger problem is Missouri is good. Like, they are good. They are huge. They are one of the biggest teams in America.
Yeah.
They're obviously well coached. They're physical. It's one thing about high major college basketball. Big fish eats little fish most of the time. And Missouri plays great. They're big. Sometimes they play good. They're big. Sometimes they play mediocre. They're big. Sometimes they play bad, but they're still big.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess big travels, right?
Yeah, go. Sometimes I look out there and they got Trent Burns, I love that kid and so happy how he's developing. But he got Trent Burns and Mark Mitchell and Trent Pierce. And I just look at the screen and I look at the guys we're watching film preparing. I just say to myself, they are very tall. Oh, my God, they are very tall. People don't realize Trent Pierce is, one of my babies. I had a big part of recruiting him. And, Dickie Nutt did a fabulous job in recruiting him because he's from the area. But, I got to know his dad was from Florida. And his mom played at Oral Roberts, and I knew the dad. He played for a good friend of mine named Corey Williams at Oral Roberts. But people don't realize he's shooting that ball at 40%.
Unbelievable.
He's 6'10". So that's the three, man.
He's got one of the when he shoots, I'm like, well, that's good because his stroke, it's as smooth as anybody. And I wouldn't even say hey, he's got a smooth shot for a 6'10" player. He's got a smooth shot for a 6-foot player. It looks good every time he releases the ball. And man, his development from 17% a couple of years ago to 40% now, it's been a huge difference maker for them. And
that's
man,
a testimony to their staff. They do a good job from a development standpoint. It's almost like watching a poor man's Klay Thompson. It's very, very pure. It's very, very pure. 100%. And at 6'10", you really want to try to challenge every pass and contest every shot. It's hard to contest a shot for a guy who's 6'10". Yeah. Yeah. So, but again, I want to hurry up and get it over. I'm not even going to lie to you.
I don't doubt it. How have C.Y. Young is our guest associate head coach at Miami. You mentioned now it's year 4 for Dennis and 3 out of 4 years going to the tournament. How have you seen him grow over the years as a coach from obviously Cleveland State, but you joining him in Columbia and your 3 years there with Dennis and maybe even from afar this year? How have you seen him grow as a coach?
Yeah, he's a guy that's evolved every year. He's gotten better every year. He studies the game. He's committed to revolutionizing the game and not doing things the same way. He and I were assistants together and had a tremendous amount of success. I recruited Dennis when he's come out of high school. I had him committed to Northeastern when he was a baby. It's been incredible to watch. I mean, you knew he was going to be a star. The way his ability, his CEO-ship, his mind for the game, his ability to lead and build a culture. He's gotten better every year. He's done a good job of, I would say, adjusting to every roster that he has. I think some head coaches and CEOs, they make a huge mistake. They try to play the same exact way every year when the roster does not meet the way they want to play.
Yeah.
And I think Dennis deserves a lot of credit for Cleveland State as a head coach and at Missouri really assessing his roster and putting a team together and a style of play and a plan together to fit that roster. Because this roster right now, year one, we won the first 3 steps. We advanced the ball. We played a little faster. This roster plays slower because it probably fits that roster. They got some new guys that I'm impressed with also. I don't know Phillips, but he looks like a nasty dude, really good. I don't know Stone. I watched him last night just dunk one against Tennessee off the wrong leg.
I think was that when he cut his head, I think?
I don't know if he cut
on the
his head,
backboard of the rim or something.
Yeah, he banged it.
One of those.
Those new guys that they brought in that I don't know.
Yeah.
They're impressive. Phillips and Stone. And then I'd be remiss if I'm so proud of T.O. Barrett, just the jump and development he's made. Like, man, he always made my alarm go off, even when we recruited him out of high school. And obviously his deficiency was not being able to shoot the ball, but when we thought that he was so good that we could develop his jump shot and he had to take him. But to see him go get 28 against Tennessee and his presence and his ability to get downhill and finish, and he's a guy that I think is going to play in the NBA.
I said it, gosh, I don't know, a month ago maybe. I think it was before he had the 28, so I felt a little bit better. But I preface it and qualify it by saying, hey, I'm not saying he is this man. I'm just saying I see some Jason Kidd in his game. I see a little Jason Kidd there.
Hey, listen to me. I agree with you 100% unequivocally. I saw the same thing when we were recruiting him. And I'm going to tell you, it's the same thing we talked about earlier in this conversation. Missouri is a high major program. They are big. And T.O. Barrett is a middle linebacker playing point guard. You know what I mean? Like, he gets anywhere in the paint. He's so explosive and so strong, he can finish. You almost got to treat him like a big and rotate and stop him at the 28-foot line before he ever gets to the paint. Like, you cannot wait to, when you're building your defensive shell and T.O. Barrett is attacking, you can't wait to stop him at the paint. You got to stop him a foot outside the paint, or he's going to make a play. He's going to get fouled, or he's going to dunk it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a nasty dude also. So they're for real, and they're big, they're huge, they're well coached. Again, I'm proud of Dennis Gates and Matt Klein and Dickie Nutt, the staff. And, it's very, very, very impressive what they've done. 3 out of 4. I hope the Mizzou fan base, they appreciate Dennis and they take care of him and support him during the ups and downs, because they really do have a gem. They really do have a special dude. And I would hate for them, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it because that's who I am. I hope the Mizzou fans don't mess it up and be Kentucky, because I know they wish Calipari was still at Kentucky right now.
Beware what you wish for sometimes, you know.
Hey, and I hope they don't get emotional and do that. I hope they don't get emotional like Texas and get rid of Rick Barnes and he goes to Tennessee and he builds a monster, because I know Texas wish they would have kept Rick Barnes. And yeah, I'm putting Dennis in that category in terms of a head coach and CEO. He's going to be one of the best. He'll have a job wherever he wants, as long as he's in this profession. So I just hope the Mizzou fan base, they cherish him and appreciate him.
I'm hoping that's the case, too. C.Y. Young is our guest, and we'll continue our conversation here on Sports Radio 810 WHB with C.Y. He has been gracious enough to continue talking with us for a couple of segments today. We'll take a timeout, come back, and C.Y. on the other side of the break, we'll talk more about you and the move down to Miami. That comes up next. All right, we'll continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Continue our conversation. C.Y. Young is our guest. I want to talk about you a little bit, too, and your team. I know we've talked a lot about Mizzou, and I love the perspective that you give getting ready for this game tomorrow night. But can you take me back to a year ago at this time? Coach Lucas gets the job at Miami. You're a Miami kid. What was that decision like to, leave Columbia, Missouri with Dennis Gates and what's going on there and the recruits coming in and the players returning to head down to Miami?
Very, very difficult. But I am a guy that's born and raised in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I have so much family and friends and people there. And for years, Miami was trying to get me to come home, and I never felt like I needed to do that. At this time in my life, again, I've been doing this 33 years. I'm 54 years of age. My parents are getting older. My dad has dementia.
Oh, man, I'm sorry.
So my mom, and it's been tough, and we take care of that. So being able to galvanize and unite my family again, it put me in a situation where I had to make a decision, more of a family decision than for my career. But with that being said, Jay Lucas is a star. I've known him and his dad, his family for a long time. And he called and he said, hey, CY, I really need you to come home. I need Miami guys to turn this around. We got a tremendous amount of resources. I think we can do something special. And he told me the other guys from Miami, the guys that he wanted me to recruit and go get. It was a tough decision, but at the end of the day, it was the right decision for my family. And sometimes you feel guilty as a coach because you put so much time for other people's kids and other people's families that your family gets left behind. And so I just got put in a position where, hey, I've been here 3 years, 2 out of 3 NCAA tournaments. Dennis, we got this thing, the foundation set is taking off. Dennis has a quality staff with the rest of these guys. They don't need me as much as Miami needs me. So I think Miami was in a situation where they probably needed me more than Mizzou, and I knew that Mizzou would be fine because of the foundation that we built. And I feel a part of that. I'm proud saying I helped build that foundation. And sometimes when you build a foundation, it takes off and it sells. And I take pride in that in my career. Listen, they could say whatever they want about me, and I say this with a tremendous amount of humility. So I don't want anybody to think I'm an arrogant guy, because I'm not, but I am confident. I was at Florida State and a part of 3 straight Sweet 16s and Elite 8 and an ACC regular season title. And if COVID doesn't hit, we probably win a national title. We was probably the 2nd or 3rd 1 seed. We had success when Dennis was there, but when Dennis left, we still went to 2 or 3 more Sweet 16s and won an ACC regular season title. I go to Missouri, and I'm a part of 2 out of 3 NCAA tournaments. We flip it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go to Miami year 1, and I'm a part of a school record wins and finishing 3rd in the ACC when we were picked 14th. So, you judge people on consistent behavior, not what they say, but what they do. I'm a guy that has a reputation of everywhere I go, I help build programs and they win. I don't think I got a rabbit foot in my pocket. You think I got a rabbit foot in my pocket? I just keep getting lucky, you think?
No. Luck has nothing to do. I've always tried to differentiate when people are successful between luck and being fortunate. Like, luck to me is you played the lottery and won. Fortune is you've put in the work and things bounced in your favor because you had yourself in that position by putting in the work beforehand. Sometimes some forks in the road happen, and you're like, you know what? That sort of fell in my favor that I got that opportunity. But if I wasn't doing the work beforehand, I wouldn't have got the opportunity. I didn't play a lottery ticket and just won. That's luck to me, saying, you know what? I've been fortunate in the things that have bounced my way, but they wouldn't have bounced my way if I didn't put myself in position to have that.
Right. Well, I'll tell you this. Jay Lucas is a star. He's one of the young and up-and-coming guys, and you got to give him credit as a CEO for putting together a dream team of a staff. Eric Pastrana, on this staff who was at Georgia. We were both in the SEC, and he's a Miami guy. He's coming home. Andrew Moran, who's a legendary high school coach, who coached the Boozers at Columbus High School. He was coming in, and he was staying home. We have Russell Springman, who used to be the head coach at Oral Roberts, and who used to be a Brick Barnes assistant for a long time. He recruited Kevin Durant. So I had a chance to come home, galvanize my family, and join a dream team of a staff, and it's awesome. Worked out. Like we've been really, really good, and we were picked 14th, and we finished third and tied the school record for wins year one, and we were able to keep a lot of Miami guys home and kind of have that the adage that the U is going to be built with South Florida Miami guys, and it's definitely working, and we're on the verge of at some point making a run to the Final Four or winning a national title. And so I enjoy helping build programs and being an associate head coach. I don't want to be an associate head coach for the rest of my career. I felt like also coming back to the South, my best chance to get a head coaching position in the next 3 or 4 years would be in the Southeast region. So for that to happen, I needed to be in the Southeast region. I went to Missouri with Dennis because I really thought it would help me walk right into Florida State as a head coach. And they decided to go in another direction than me, so probably needed to change the optics a little bit and get back in the Southeast region. So it's been a blessing. I'm thankful. I'm happy. And I'm happy for Dennis Gates in Missouri, and I'm happy for the University of Miami and my family here. So my aunts, my cousins, my mom, they come down to every game.
Awesome.
It's like a family reunion. It's like when I was 8, 9, 10 when they was all following me playing again. It's been a beautiful thing. So
that's very cool, man. Dennis Gates was on SportsCenter this morning, and to your point when you're talking about that, he said, one of the things that these two teams that are playing is how good the coaching staff is, and he said in a few years you're going to see some guys that are head coaches at different places and go, oh, they were all on those coaching staffs, and obviously your name being one of them. That's going to be a head coach in a couple of years. So Dennis Gates, right along with you in what the future is. CY, a couple of quick ones, and I'll let you go, man. This is I love getting a chance to talk to you. But you guys go to Miami and you talk about picked 14th and finishing third. Is there a combination of like difficulty and knowing you got to put in the work versus the excitement of something new when you're putting together like a brand new roster? Like you guys did at Miami, like the coaching staff, the head coach, and the players are all sort of getting to know each other at the same time. What's the difficulty and the excitement sort of combined in doing that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll tell you, it's nothing like it. But what it does is it bonds you quick because you realize it's us against the world. You know what I mean? It's us against the world. And I think when you're trying to build a culture, that's the thing that I got to give Dennis Gates and that staff so much credit. We did it at Missouri just like we've done it here at Miami. The number one, there's 5 components to being a head coach and CEO. 1 is culture builder. 2 is team builder. 3 is elite recruiter. 4 is elite coach. And notice I say coach. 4th and 5th, baseball got it right. Baseball calls the coach the manager. And so you see a lot of coaches getting fired right now. These people are not getting fired because they can't coach. They're getting fired because they can't build a culture and maintain a culture. They're getting fired because you make misevaluations in recruiting. Now, coaching is a part of it, and it's a big part of it. But if you can't build a culture, build a team, and be an elite recruiter first, you never get a chance to coach. And if you can't manage the egos and the people around the program and make sure everybody is together, then whether or not you can coach or not is a moot point. I'll give you an example. I'm watching Miami of Ohio last night, Miami of Ohio is playing SMU. And if you know anything about basketball, if you're watching the game, I watched the first 4 minutes, and I said, Miami of Ohio is going to win.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they have more talent than SMU. And SMU has been banged up. They got a lot of injuries, so I'm not talking bad about SMU. They've been unfortunate that they've been fighting injuries all year. But you could see that Miami was connected. And you could see that they were, throwing strikes to each other, move the ball, get the right shot, playing with energy, flying around. When somebody took a shot, nobody was mad that person took a shot. Nobody was, the coach said it afterwards, nobody played for stats. He was telling the truth. I don't think he was being arrogant. I don't think he was being cocky. He was telling the truth. Our program, Miami of Ohio, we don't play for stats. We move the ball. We trust each other. We get the right shot. And you could see that SMU had some guys that they wanted to get their name in the paper. They wanted to score. They wasn't necessarily playing for SMU. I don't know if they're playing to get in the NBA or they playing to average 20, but you could see it. And so Miami runs them out of the building because they're more connected. So you look at a program like the University of Miami and you say, how do they finish third in the ACC when they were picked 14th? Well, Jay Lucas and his staff has been able to build a culture, and they connected.
Yeah.
You look at Missouri and Dennis Gates and his staff, and how has Missouri, whether they had guys hurt, in and out, ups and downs, had tough losses, fan base get disgruntled with them, and they still bounce up with 20 wins in the NCAA tournament. Dennis Gates is a hell of a culture builder. That staff is a hell of a culture builder. And those guys, they fought it. So that's the deal. That's what you got to be able to bond and become one fist. And if you can't build a culture, and now again, Missouri has done an elite job recruiting too. I'm talking about finding diamonds in the rough.
Yeah.
Anybody can find McDonald's All-Americans. That ain't recruiting. What's recruiting is finding T.O. Barrett. That's recruiting. What's recruiting is finding Trent Pierce, Anthony Robinson. That's recruiting. Guys that weren't ranked that high that are obviously guys that are going to have a chance to be pros. Ant Robinson hadn't had the season that they wanted to for whatever reason, but he's still going to be a pro. Trent Burns, a 7'5" guy that was considered a project. He's stepping out hitting threes at the buzzer against Florida.
Yeah.
That's recruiting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And able to put all that together and mesh. Some head coaches and CEOs can do that, and some can't. And Dennis Gates is one of those guys that can do it, and Jay Lucas is obviously one of those guys that can do it. I just hate we have to play each other. I'm going to be miserable.
I know. C.Y. Young is our guest associate head coach from Miami. Last one for you, and I hate to put you on the spot here, but it might be the most difficult question that you have to answer. Who's the best basketball player in your family?
That's an easy question. The best basketball player in my family is Carolyn Young. That's my wife. I have to have a tremendous amount of humility. My jersey is retired at Georgia Southern, and I'm in a Hall of Fame at Georgia Southern. I might be the worst player in my house. And my daughters, Ariel Young and Adia Young. Ariel played at North Carolina, and Adia played at Auburn, and now she's at Xavier. They let me know that I'm a scrub Southern Conference player all the time. But, my son, my oldest son, he didn't get the size that all of us had. He has the game, but he's like an undersized combo, and he plays at Maryville, Division III in Tennessee. And he lets me know that they were top 20 all year, that I never played on top 20 team. So even he's talking trash to me now.
You got a number, man.
Yeah. And I got a baby son who's 6'4", 200, and he's getting recruited by some mid-majors now.
Wow. And
he's going up and dunking. He's looking at me saying, "Dad, you were bite-sized, man. You only had one dunk in your career, Dad." So it's a hard knock life for you, Charleston, C.Y. Young, man. I'm telling you, my family is competitive, and they're trash talkers, and their mama taught them that, and I'm the guy that gets the brunt of it, that they talk bad to. So you know how it is. As a dad, when you become a dad, you want nothing more than everybody to be better than you.
100%.
So they get a kick out of kicking you, but they don't know inside you're like, yes. You know, my kids are doing really, really well,
man.
And I'm the stepping stone. One day they'll figure out that they got some talent from their dad, and I train these four psychopaths around the clock.
That's so great. You know, it's one thing to like beat you in basketball, but when you go out and play, they don't have to yell "mouse in the house" every time you guard them.
Right.
They don't have to do that. Like that's a little much.
Even though a little part of me is a little proud.
C.Y. Young, the associate head coach at Miami. C.Y., congratulations on your career and success and what you've done there at Miami this year. And no doubt in a couple of years we'll be talking about C.Y. Young being introduced somewhere as a head coach. And obviously congratulations with the success of the family and being now back around your family. Good luck tomorrow night against Mizzou. I know it won't be easy, both the game and also the emotions of it. But thank you so much for taking some time out, man, and good luck tomorrow night.
Hey, can I say one more thing?
Yep.
And I know we're in Kansas City, so the Missouri people might not hear this, but I do want to say, man, I miss my family in Missouri. I don't know if you hang out in Columbia much, but my wife and we had a little rotation. We used to go have dinner at CC's and Chris McDee's, and I would go hang out at Murray's when I wanted to eat late and cheat on my diet. So I do want to say MIZ to those folks. They were good for me for 3 years, and I always loved the Mizzou fan base and the Mizzou fans and my time as an associate head coach at Mizzou. So MIZ.
There you go. C.Y., it's another one of those years for me where it's like, man, I'll be mad if Mizzou loses, but I'll be rooting for the team that moves on because of C.Y. Young there as the associate head coach of the Miami Hurricanes. C.Y., thank you so much for joining us, man. Really appreciate it, and best of luck tomorrow night. Try to have as much fun as possible in that game. Thank you so much.
All right. Talk to you. Bye-bye.
C.Y., thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Oh, awesome. Okay. Tournament games going on. TCU on top of Ohio State by 4 with 3.5 minutes to go in the first half there. And Troy, Nebraska in the first half, 14 minutes to go, all tied at 9. Troy and Nebraska. Troy, their first 4 possessions, hit a 3. And so that's how they got their 9 points. The issue for Troy is they rank, I think, 215th in three-point percentage in the country.
Not today, baby.
Well, they haven't hit a 3 yet. They're like 0 for 4 cents. So, I mean, they're 3 for 7, but they keep jacking up threes because those first 3 went in, and they're not a three-point shooting team. It's Nebraska was down, I think, 9-4, but it's now 9-9, and so we'll see. But yes, the Troy Trojans and Nebraska Cornhuskers playing. Did you know Nebraska? They haven't won an NCAA tournament game. It's people should talk about it more. But there you go, 31-24 TCU on top of Ohio State. Thank you to C.Y. Young, associate head coach for the Miami Hurricanes, joining us there. And clearly a lot of love for the Missouri Tigers still. And you could tell how emotional he was, and I would say disappointed, frustrated, whatever else you want to use with the bracket coming out and getting Missouri, but also saying, yeah, we were pretty mad about that with that being in St. Louis. Yeah, we weren't happy about that.
I wonder if they were mad when the NCAA college football playoffs were in Miami.
No. To their defense,
they knew beforehand.
Yeah, the committee didn't place them there.
In fairness, they knew beforehand, and they didn't. Yeah, it's like
that's right.
When the Super Bowl's in Tampa, it's like, well, I mean, they knew beforehand. It's not like they just decided, well, we're deciding, let's do that.
Now they're just playing home games in Super Bowls all the time, man. It's crazy.
All I know is Missouri, please don't let me down.
Yeah. By the way, since I last talked about Troy and their three-point shooting, they have since missed 2 more. They just keep jacking up threes.
Just keep jacking it, dude.
Like, it's not their game. Like, they don't shoot a bunch of threes. They made their first 3, and now all they're doing is shooting threes. So that doesn't seem like smart. Nebraska just hit another 3. We'll talk with Maddie Lane next.
Matt Lane of KCSN is brought to you by Dick Ray Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Are you planning to spend money on a new AC or furnace repair this year? Dick Ray can help. Show us a 2025 HVAC repair invoice from any company, and we'll credit that amount towards a new system up to $2,500. Call 913-DICK-RAY or go to dickray.com for details.
All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy. We head up until 2 o'clock. A couple more hours to go. NCAA tournament continues to roll along. TCU is all over Ohio State, up 15 at half. The 9 seed TCU out of the Big 12 taking care of Ohio State. Troy and Nebraska locked in a good one so far. First 10 minutes of that game, Troy's up 14-12. Let's talk some NFL football. We do that now with our man from KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast, Matt Lane, joining us here in the zone on a Thursday. Matt, what's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good here. We're locked in an office trying to get this KCSN draft guide finished here in the next couple of weeks, and trying to enjoy some wild weather flips from hot to cold, but by and large, doing well.
No doubt. Is it getting close? Do you see the finish line? Is there a light at the end of the tunnel, or do you wish you had a little more time?
I work well with deadlines. If the deadline was moved back, I would just be, putting it off and just watching other stuff for fun. So it's good to have a deadline, but I can't see the light. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're very close to the end here.
You know what? Deadline spur action. And if you got to cram for the test, cram for the test. That's fine. Whatever way you get it out there and get that thing done. I'm looking forward to that thing showing up in my inbox with the pre-order dead set already. Matt Lane, KC Sports Network. Okay, let's talk about the move that the Chiefs made this week. And it is for a backup quarterback. They give up a 6th round in 2027 to the Jets. They bring in Justin Fields. They give up $3 million against the cap for Justin Fields. What do you make of? Let's start specifically, Matt, and then I want to get into how he may be used. But let's start specifically with how do you view? What do you think of what it cost the trade to acquire Justin Fields?
I think it's a good trade. I think if you're looking at backup quarterbacks around the league, he's going to be in the top half, if not top fourth, of the backup quarterbacks in the NFL. And you're now only on the hook for paying him, he only counts $3 million against the cap. Yes, it did cost you a 6th-round pick next year. But listen, every year we can just go ahead and pencil one of the Chiefs' 6th-round picks going to the Jets for somebody, and if we just operate with that in our mind, it's no big deal.
Good call.
But yeah, generally speaking, I like the trade. You get a better backup quarterback than what I think you had last year with Gardner Minshew. Probably better than what you had with Carson Wentz. I am intrigued how Fields will fit if he has to play substantial time in Kansas City. But I guess at the beginning of the year when Andy Reid would have the entire, offseason to prepare, that's not as much of a concern. My concern would be a little bit more of, hey, he has to step in and play weeks, 16, 17 if they have to win those games or be competitive because of, knock on wood, some other kind of just minor injury. That's where I do wonder how Fields would fit in on short notice. But generally speaking, again, I like the move. They needed a backup quarterback, and he cost nothing compared to the rest of the league.
So how do you think then, I've asked this question a couple times since they acquired him. I think there are maybe 3 scenarios here with Justin Fields, one of them being he is a just traditional backup quarterback that you would think of as a Gardner Minshew or anything like that. 2, he could be a guy that they're bringing in, yes, to back up, but also, hey, you develop and maybe you get something for him in return down the line, but the Chiefs haven't really gone that route with Patrick Mahomes. 3, do you use him as a gadget player in different sub-packages from time to time to take Patrick Mahomes off the field and make it a little more dynamic with the running game, some zone read stuff that they've done in the past? How do you think the Chiefs will utilize Justin Fields as their backup quarterback?
I think predominantly he's going to be a traditional backup quarterback. And I know a lot of people are excited about, this will bring back a QB sneak and these trick plays. And I feel like that'll happen occasionally, but I don't think this is a guy that you're going to plan on seeing 2 to 3 plays per week. That's built into the game plan. I don't think they are going to have a personnel package entirely designed around Justin Fields if Mahomes is healthy. I think it'll just be a lot more here's one random trick play that we're going to run in Week 14 where Fields is on the field with Mahomes, and they're going to do some kind of goofy Andy Reid gets to go back and watch something from the 40s and implement it into the offense. I just don't know if it's going to be a consistent package that we see, because the NFL really doesn't do that too often. So I would be a little surprised if they go that route, given you don't want to take the best player off the field, even if you have some kind of design trick play for that.
Visiting with Matt Lane, KC Sports Network. Yeah, because if you bring him on the field, is somebody really going to believe that you're going to then let him pass the ball if you take Patrick Mahomes off? It's like, well, let's bring somebody else on, and now we're going to run a play where we have our quarterback pass it. I mean, yes, you'd be playing off what you are expecting the defense to prepare for, but still, I'd rather, if you have to pass the ball and Patrick Mahomes is healthy, to have number 15 out there. Is Justin Fields a guy that, if Patrick Mahomes misses a couple of weeks of the season, week 1, week 2, something like that, is Justin Fields a guy that you think can go through, run the game plan, and win a game or two, not hurt you in the game, not be the reason you lost, maybe just, you don't have to be the reason that you won? Is Justin Fields good enough to do that in a game?
I feel a lot better about him doing that at the beginning of the year. Like I was saying, if they get a plan for that to be the case, if you know Mahomes is missing the first 3-4 weeks of the year, and you go into camp and preseason kind of designing the offense around what Justin Fields does, yeah, I absolutely think he can be a functional quarterback in what the Chiefs do. I mean, he's not as good, and he definitely isn't as good of a timing passer, but it's going to look a lot like how I imagine that offense with Alex Smith looked, right? A lot of read option stuff. You're going to get the quarterback run game going. You'll have some deep shots, but they're just kind of based entirely on one read, check down, or run. So they can do it. It gets a little bit trickier to me if you're running the Patrick Mahomes West Coast offense, and then Justin Fields steps into it, because that is not his forte.
Yep.
He definitely doesn't operate quick in the way Andy Reid usually likes his quarterbacks to play.
Yeah, we'll see. It would be such a different look. And I do think, if Justin Fields has to play a game or two, it does change the dynamic with Kenneth Walker back there, right? Like, it makes it a little bit more where I feel more confident that the Chiefs can design a game plan to come up with something to defeat the defense if you've got more of a focus on the run game because of Justin Fields, that you don't have to drop back 40 times and throw the ball. With Kenneth Walker, it does change the calculus a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, when you look at what they did with Alex Smith and Jamal Charles, and I think I want to be very clear, you are taking a step back at both positions there, but it's a similar concept, right?
Yeah.
You can see how that offense would translate to Fields and Kenneth Walker in the backfield, like they were able to have success with early there in the 2010s. So there is something to back around how this would work, and I definitely think if they have to do that, it'll function well. I don't think if it's middle of the season, though, it'll look like a Chad Henne coming in where, okay, the offense is clearly worse, but by and large, they're trying to run it the same way. I do think you have to tailor it specifically for field strength, which isn't a bad thing for a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
It's just a little different than what we've had recently.
Matt Lane is our guest, KC Sports Network. What do you think of the signing of Emery DeMarcado as the backup quarterback, third down back, if that, maybe helping out in special teams? But what do you think of the player that the Chiefs added?
Good addition. They needed somebody that's currently on the roster that you kind of can pencil into playing on third downs, and not just as a receiver, because we know Brashard Smith can run routes and catch the football. Kenneth Walker's dangerous with the ball in his hands, but neither one of those guys are really particularly good in pass protection. And so you did need somebody that could be reliably out there on third downs where they could run a couple routes or sit back in pass protection. DeMarcado, especially in the previous couple years before this most recent one, was pretty good in pass pro for the Arizona Cardinals. So, yeah, I like the addition. It kind of rounds out that running back room to where you don't need to add anybody else. Not saying you can't improve, but you don't have to add anybody else to that room now. Visiting
with Matt Lane, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. All right, let's talk about some of the things we've seen since free agency, Matt, in the mock drafts that are going around. And at number 9, we no longer see Jeremiah Love there because most mock drafts he doesn't get past number 4 in the Tennessee Titans. But we are seeing more and more of an offensive lineman there at number 9 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Daniel Jeremiah's latest got some people frustrated, and I understand why, when he talks about, Spencer Fano can play right tackle and then can move inside to guard. Which, would be really annoying if you draft somebody at number 9 and then you got to move him to guard, because, you just drafted somebody in the second round and you were able to move him to guard and you feel like you're pretty good there. How legit is the Chiefs' interest in a tackle at number 9? And is it interest in a tackle at number 9 now that they have picked 29 and 40 that they feel like if their board falls that way, Matt, where, hey, number 1 on our board is this tackle, and we're going to stay true to our board, best player available, it's this guy right here, and then 29 and 40, maybe we'll look at some other areas of maybe a little more desperate need than offensive line. How real is the possibility of an offensive tackle at number 9?
Let's work backwards from that. I think having 29 and 40 gives you the flexibility to say we're not locked into anything at pick 9 or at 29. Like with those 3 picks in the top 50, you're not locked into any singular position. I do think that's a spot that they wanted to get to. So from that aspect, yeah, it makes a little more sense. But logically, from a team building perspective, it's really hard to see the path to me for another offensive lineman with this big of an investment to make a ton of sense. That's just not something most teams in the NFL do. That would be highest paid center, highest paid guard, first-round pick left tackle, first-round pick right tackle, second-round pick left guard, all happening relatively quickly in unison. That's a lot of capital for one position group, and it's just not something that you should have to do to get a upper third of the league offensive line. So I struggle with it. And then, like, specifically going to Fano, who's kind of been the talk of the week, his arms, I know he remeasured them today at his pro day. They're still under 33 inches, and that is significantly different than what Andy Reid has preferred throughout his entire career at offensive tackle. The only guys that have even gotten near that number for their arm length have been Andrew Wiley and Mike Rimmers, who moved from guard to offensive tackle. So I have hesitation saying that I think a tackle, but especially Fano, is super likely at pick 9 given all the other needs they have and the fact that they do have 5 guys they can run out there and start today.
It's interesting that Fano's arms haven't been talked about a lot. That's odd. So Fano can still go in the top 10 with short arms, and Ruben Bain, it's the reason why you wouldn't draft him and sarcasm aside, I think offensive tackle, it's more important to have the arm length than the defensive end.
Yeah, no, it is for sure. And, like, they're both about, if you, like, break it out into percentiles and averages, Bain and Fano are about the same amount from what, the average of your starting caliber players are at each position. So it's not like one is significantly, worse off than the other in that regard. It's just for some reason, Bain seems to be catching a lot more heat for his because you can sit there and claim it's a historic outlier if it's never happened, even if with Fano you're dealing with 1 to 2 guys that have even been close to his arm length. So that's been interesting for me to follow. That's also why I don't think he, in particular, makes sense for the Chiefs. But even any right tackle at pick 9, again, I think you're just running into the issue of unless there's a problem with Josh Simmons that we don't know about, it really feels excessive to go back to the offensive line again when you have so many holes on the defensive side of the ball at pass catcher and so on.
Is cornerback a possibility there at number 9? Is that something to where Brett Veach mainly would spend that capital? They move up to 21, and it's like they don't draft cornerbacks early, and then they jumped up to 21 to draft one. Would they take one all the way up at number 9?
It's possible, but it feels a little unlikely because then it would be trading away a good corner to kind of chase after replacing him with an even higher draft pick than you spent on him.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say impossible because there's a chance that you're looking at a poor draft board at pick 9 and Jermon McCoy or Mansour Delane, the 2 top corners, are the best players available. And if that's the case, why not just fill a significant need with one of the best players remaining? I just don't think that's like their preferred choice, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I do wonder how they would, what direction they would go if Bailey and Bain are gone, if, let's say Lemon and Tate are gone and they don't think highly of Tyson to take him at number 9, they're sitting there with a cornerback or an offensive tackle and they can't trade down or anything like that. I wonder where they would go because the worst case scenario, it's at number 9. You should still come away with a good player. But I remember back to the draft when it was here in Kansas City and they're sitting there at 32, and whether they had any suitors to trade it back into the first round or not, it was like, well, nobody can trade. You're there at 32. You got to make a pick. Here's FAU. It hasn't worked out, but some of the reporting is that they certainly would have been okay with trying to move back if somebody was interested in jumping up to number 32 and, a player that might have been there. You should still come away with a really good pick at number 9. You should come away with a good player at number 9 regardless. I just worry about them being in a position where they're going, well, these are the guys we really want. And Brett Veach said drafting at 4 and 5 would be a lot better. We're at number 9. I wish we were at 4 and 5. If they are in that position and the board is not going the way that they think, or they have the most likely outcome, or it's going the way that they're like, oh no, this sucks. This is not the way that we were hoping it would go. Would Brett Veach then say, you know what, we're going to trade some assets and we're not going to sit here at number 9 and have the board go the way that we don't want it to go and be stuck? We're going to go ahead and trade up and get a guy that we feel really confident in doing, and that means giving up a third rounder for it.
Yeah, I think the common one to look at right now is like the Cleveland Browns, right? If they're sitting there at pick 6 and you're not feeling super strong, maybe you get to pick 6 and Tate's off the board and a couple of those edges are off the board, and you don't think that you're going to get your preferred player or two who's going to make it past the Browns, the Commanders, and the Saints before they get to you, it would make sense to consider trading up there. I think that would make a ton of sense for them, just because, like you said, if you sit at pick 9, there is definitely an avenue where you don't get one of those edge rushers, one of those pass catchers, and then it's just a matter of, do you like the corners there? Do you want to take a non-premium position? None of those players are bad. It's just, is that what you want to do at pick 9? So I have my eyes on the Cleveland Browns, potentially even the Commanders maybe wanting to move back and collect a couple other picks too. But I think they could make a small move up to 6 seems the most likely spot to try to snag. I would assume a defensive end that was available, but I wouldn't put it past them to move up for a wide receiver as well.
Let me ask you this. Any chance they package like 29 and 40 to move up to like 19 or 20, and then to have 2 picks in the top 20 instead of 3 picks in the top 40? And if they do that, is this necessarily the draft that you would want to be spending the capital to move up and get somebody if there aren't as many blue chip prospects this year?
So 29 and 40 can get you up, pretty far into the teens. So that can go real high if they wanted to put those two together. I wouldn't hate that idea, or even if you don't move up at pick 9, but you get the guy you want, and the Chiefs want to move up from 29 to get into the late teens, I think that's definitely a viable option, because this draft class, it's a weird one. The depth isn't terrible, but it kind of evens out really hard, and there's probably a better chunk of players. If you can get 2 guys in the top 20 picks, that might be better than a handful of guys going from pick 20 to 70, just because I think that's such a flat curve there. So let's say you land your edge rusher in the top 10, and you maybe want to trade up for a Tyson or a Lemon or a Sadiq, one of these pass catchers, an offensive weapon that's falling a little bit in the teens. I would not put it past the Chiefs at all to try to move up from 29, whereas I know a lot of fans want to move back. I just think this might be a draft class where you can get a different caliber of offensive weapon in particular by jumping up a little, or defensive end, jumping up into the top 20 again from 29.
Visiting with Matt Lane, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. Any players that are still out there that you would like to see the Chiefs acquire, assign, or anything like that to maybe fill some of these holes that are left after free agency and the trade of Justin Fields?
Yeah, pull up the free agent defensive ends that are available and just start picking guys out of a hat. They need some bodies there. It's getting a lot thinner. I know just the guys at the top of my head, Jadeveon Clowney is not going to sign until midway through camp at best, so you can't count on that one. Joey Bosa's probably never going to play for the Chiefs. And so maybe Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan sounds like fun right now to add him in there, get somebody that can start across from Karlaftis, eat up snaps, get a veteran presence into that defensive line room, and then you're obviously expecting to draft somebody as well to come in early. But yeah, they need another defensive end before they get to the draft, or they're essentially waving a flag saying, hey, we have to draft 2 defensive linemen that can play football by week 1 because we don't have bodies.
Yeah. Visiting with Matt Lane, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. We didn't talk about this a couple of days ago here on the show. We've been, talking about a lot of different things, but the Kelce contract details came down, and it's a really creative way for the Chiefs to not take on a lot of cap hit this year and be able to spread out some cap hits the next couple of years. But the one thing they did not do, Matt, they definitely didn't add void years to the contract. That's obvious with the breakdown because, boy, they're not going to add a void year, that's for sure. What do you make of the Kelce contract, how they put this thing together and constructed it with, again, let's make sure we say this, without void years?
Yeah, that contract is certainly wearing like a mustache and sunglasses disguise.
It's a void year wearing a, I love that, yes.
That's all it is.
Groucho Marx mask on a void year.
Right, that's all it is, and it's like that's the way it came out, and they don't want to call it that. That's fine. You know, you guys do business the right way. You send your owner's private jet to pick up your free agency signings. That's cool. You do it the right way. But yeah, it's a good deal, right? Like the way they shaped that out, I think is a very good deal. It's a nice little loophole to not call something void years that is effectively going to act the same way. It gets Kelsey in the building for this year. It spreads out the cap hit so it doesn't crush the available space you had to make some more signings this year, and it won't be too much over the next couple of years eating into it while he's presumably not on the roster anymore. So very good use of a couple little loopholes there, and then they still get to not call something void years, so I guess everybody come out of the situation a winner.
No doubt about that. By them throwing it, by them working the contract this way, does that give you a sense of how they're viewing this upcoming season? Like, okay, we're doing it this way. We're willing to take on cap hits the next couple of years because we need to get back to the top this year. Where there was at least one school of thought that it was, you know what, 2026 might be take your medicine season and getting right fully with the cap overall, and then 2027 making a bigger run at some of these players now that you feel good about maybe where the cap is. Do the quote-unquote non-void years make you think one way or another with how the Chiefs constructed this as how they view this year?
I'm going to be a little bit more cynical about it. To me, it just kind of says that I think that they want some reliability in that receiving room, and I don't think they have it. And so, not that they overpaid or anything like that, but I think they were willing to make sure that if Kelsey wanted to come back and play, that they were going to find the best way to fit him under contract this year while still improving their team, because they wanted to get some, like I said, just a consistent, reliable presence, because they don't have that with Worthy. Yeah. And you don't know if you're going to get that with Rashee Rice all year at any point in time. I think they were just kind of desperate, for lack of a better word, to make sure that when Mahomes does come back, they have somebody they can rely on kind of down in and down out.
Matt Lane, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. Matt, appreciate the time as always, brother. We'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks or so, as well as that draft guide coming out as well. Matt, appreciate it, brother. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. There's Matt Lane, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast joining us. We'll take a time out. We'll come back, continue rolling. I do want to talk about what it may mean with the Kelsey contract and how they put that thing together, because we've talked about void year, no void year, what it means this year if the Chiefs were to do that, if they were to break tradition with Kelsey, and technically they didn't. We'll explain what all that means. We'll come back, continue rolling. We'll do some live listen-ins as maybe some of these games get towards the end. I'll tell you this, the TCU-Ohio State game is going to have to get closer for one of those live listen-ins. It's an 11-point lead for TCU right now. They went into half up 15. Nebraska is up 12 with under 4 minutes to play. They've gone on a big run after Troy was leading early 9-4, but Nebraska has taken complete control of that game. Price Sandford has been on fire and already has 17 points in the first half. More Zone coming up next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you to Matt Lane. Joining us, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast.
Shout out Reed's Nuggies.
That's right. Appreciate it, man. Dropped off some cookies for us on Twitter /X. Reed's Nuggies. Thank you for that. They're
big fan of Reed's
dude.
Nuggies.
Yes, they are fantastic, man. Very, very good cookies. I appreciate that. Appreciate Matt Lane as well. The Nebraska Cornhuskers taking on Troy. And if Nebraska is not going to win their first tournament game, something drastic is going to have to happen because they are up 18 at this point with 2 seconds left to go in the first half. 41-23 Nebraska winning right now over Troy. So something crazy and drastic would have to happen in the second half for Nebraska not to win. We'll see what ends up happening with that. Troy, I think we'll get a couple of free throws here before half. TCU's up 13 on Ohio State. And Louisville is getting ready to tip off against South Florida. Louisville and USF. And we'll see if where Brian Hodgson goes after this year. South Florida head coach. I don't know if he's going to go anywhere or not. They were talking about him at Syracuse, but I think he already turned down the offer, or at least the offer to maybe interview or something like that, or just said, I'm not interested. I'm not really sure. But he's there at South Florida, an 11-6 matchup. And it looks like the 9 has control of the 8 right now. The 4 seed Nebraska controlling the 11 seed Troy, and Louisville, South Florida getting ready to tip off in the NCAA tournament. So there you go.
It's not quite madness yet. It's more just kind of...
Nope.
It's just March. Just March.
That's right. It's simple. This is March. That's what it is. March. 913-912-4810. So I asked Matt Lane there at the end about Travis Kelce's contract and what that means for the Chiefs this year. You know, we had kind of discussed if they add void years, is that the Chiefs saying, no, we're willing to take on more cap the next couple of years, so we're going more, not all in, but we are putting more of an emphasis on this year than, hey, you know what, maybe it's kind of like a bridge couple years to go from the first dynasty to then you have a little bit of a lull, and then you get into your quote-unquote second dynasty after, 25 and 26 seasons. Now, Sterling, they did not add void years. Okay, these are not void years. Even if you go to Spotrac and Over the Cap, and you look at theirs, and it says void years, those are wrong. It is not a void year. They have gone out of their way to say they are not adding void years because they've done that with Patrick Mahomes, and that's it.
Is it just a gap year? They're calling it a gap year.
It's so here's how they've constructed this contract. He is going to get a $3 million base salary this year.
Okay.
He is going to get $9 million in roster bonuses.
Okay.
$3 million being on the roster at training camp.
Okay.
And then $6 million in per game bonuses throughout the season, whether he's active or not. So no matter what, it's like the per game bonus, even if you release him, right? Per game bonus is still going to get it. So it's, essentially guaranteed there.
How does this work?
He's going to get $3 million in incentives. And those incentives are not likely to be earned. So that will not count against the cap this year.
How many million are we at right now? This feels like a lot of million.
That's the $12 million. There's the 12. $3 million base, $9 million roster bonuses, and $3 million incentives. There's the up to 15.
Okay.
So 1 year, 12, up to 15. The $3 million incentives are not likely to be earned because they all revolve around the Chiefs making the playoffs. Chiefs didn't make the playoffs, so those incentives are not likely to be earned. They will not go on the salary cap this year.
Hilarious.
Which, isn't that amazing, right? Which means that Travis Kelce, with his 1 year, $12 million contract up to 15, the cap hit this year is 4.9 for Travis Kelce. But in 27 and 28, it will be $3.5 million of dead cap those 2 years. $7 million combined, split between 2 years. The reason it's split between 2 years and the reason it's not a void year in those 2 years is because they have a poison pill in the contract for 2028 in that June 8th of 27, Travis Kelce has a 2028 salary of $40 million fully guaranteed if he's on the team on June 8th, 2027. Which means they can release him after June 1, which they will because you're not going to have him on the roster, and that allows you then to split the dead cap of $7 million over the next 2 years, meaning it's 3.5 the next 2 years. But it's not a void year, Sterling. Those are not void years. It's a contract that's a year, but you've also got a couple of more years, including $40 million fully guaranteed in 2028 if he's on the roster on June 8th of 2027. But $7 million dead cap hit if you release him.
Okay, serious question. Why the hell would they not just do void years?
There has to be some sort of distinction.
No, this is the reason. It allows them to manage the cap as it goes along. You do the void years, you take on the cap hit next year immediately. You don't add the void year, you put the poison pill in there, you can release them after June 1st, and you can split up the cap between 3.5 for 2 years. And the $4.9 million cap hit this year, it's a cap hit, but the money isn't going out until training camp. He's going to get his $3 million, and then incrementally as the season goes along, he'll get his money thrown his way in sort of managing the cap.
NFL salary cap is just hilarious. It's real, but it's not, and it's sometimes a figment of your imagination, and sometimes you see it. It's like a ghost where you're like, no, I saw that. Like, I know what I saw.
I heard the little kids singing and chanting. Nobody else heard that? We're down in the basement by ourselves. You guys aren't hearing that? Come on, man.
And the Saints are like, yeah, we hear it all the time, but we don't care. We're just going to we're going to truck on.
And the Bengals are like, it's right there, and there's nothing we can do about it. So we just can't, you know what we can't do? We can't bring anybody else down to the basement.
So that's just a real kid. That's just that's not a ghost. It's
completely real to us.
It is real to us. It's just people.
Completely real. The Chiefs have done this a couple of times in their creative ways of constructing some contracts. Patrick Mahomes, when that contract came out, remember we heard there were guaranteed mechanisms in there, and we're like, we've never heard the term guaranteed mechanisms before. That this guy is signing a $500 million contract with, quote, guaranteed mechanisms, that the guaranteed dollars are so low and the practical guarantees are higher than the guaranteed dollars because of the guaranteed mechanisms. What the heck is a guaranteed mechanism?
I still don't know.
Well, him being on the roster in 2021, league year 2021, guarantees the 2023 salary. But it's not guaranteed at the time, so it's not fully, this is guaranteed money, you've got to put this in the bank in escrow. Because you got to put a percentage of the guaranteed dollars in escrow.
How does the NFL... I don't disagree with any of this. I would just always wonder how the NFL allows this to happen. I've always been surprised that
it allows the owners to not have to write a $300 million check.
No, I know, but I've always been surprised that the NFL allows all of the
maneuvering with the cap.
Yeah,
to
being
salary,
able to circumvent
roster to signing bonus and salary to signing bonus.
I get why the players like it, because the players then can get a lot of times more money, and without guaranteed contracts like in baseball would make it so much more difficult. But also, in baseball, you would know exactly, besides the Dodgers doing the Dodgers.
Well, the Dodgers are getting into this little creative way of finding these ways around some of the rules. But
traditionally, it was baseball's like, hey, no, we know exactly what it is. This is what you're going to be spending. It's super straightforward. It's fairly easy. Every once in a while, you'll get a Bobby Bonilla situation, but that's the rarity. That's the one we still talk about because of how rare that one was. And then the NFL's like, hey, yeah, this is a 7-year deal, but it's basically 2 years. But you're gonna be paying them for 9.
Yeah.
We're gonna circumvent the cap here, and it's gonna fall off eventually.
But then you got to take the hit at some point. So I mean, whatever the guaranteed dollars are, like that is gonna count against the cap at some point. It just allows you the flexibility with the cap that's out there. This to me, because they created it this way, because they are putting on void years to the contract. It's kind of like what we were discussing of, okay, so if they put this contract together 1 year, $12 million, and it's a $12 million cap hit, and then $3 million incentives, which makes it very easy to get the $3 million incentives to be not likely to be earned, and they put it all around the playoffs, so it's not likely to be earned, and it's making the playoffs with this percentage of playing time for Kelsey, making the AFC Championship game, playing at this percentage. If you make the Super Bowl and you play this percentage, it's not cumulative, so he can earn $2 million if he plays a certain amount and they play in the Super Bowl. He can earn $1 million if he plays a certain amount and they get to the AFC Championship game. Those two things can combine, but the percentage leading up to it cannot, so it's a total of $3 million. If he plays like 70% of the snaps and they play in the Super Bowl, he gets both the AFC Championship and the Super Bowl. There's your $3 million. So we talked about creating some way of incentives that would count toward next year's cap, but wondered how much they would kick down the road with void years. That the more they did, the more it said, yeah, we're kind of not worrying about 27 and 28 to a large degree. We're going to take a hit on 27 and 28 to soften the blow in 26, meaning that they are viewing 26 as, we're not messing around and trying to finish second or third. We're trying to win another Super Bowl this year, which to a degree, it's like, good, go win a Super Bowl. If it's not then putting yourself in a position that the Saints continually are every year, where it's like, well, you got to do this, you got to restructure that. Because now you're taking on $3.5 million of dead cap hit for Travis Kelce the next 2 years, which is essentially a $7 million legacy cap hit.
And it's not like it's 20 mil. It's not like it's, I mean,
you're taking on $20 million for Juwan Taylor this year.
Yeah, cutting Juwan Taylor, well, 7.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
7. You're saving 20, but still 7 for Juwan.
Right now
in 1 year. This is 7 over 2. The cap's going to continuously go up, barring another worldwide pandemic. I mean, like,
knock on wood on that.
Knock on wood on that one. Yeah, let's sure hope not. But I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Is you're just hoping the NFL doesn't shut down, or hope there's not something that makes the cap, because the cap's going to continue to rise, barring something
crazy.
Yeah, I have no issue with it. I'm totally fine. I don't get why. I mean, I do, but I don't. It's like, just do void years. Just do this. Stop playing around. Stop making it more hard. Stop making Jason's life difficult so he has to explain it to me like I'm a child.
I just love that they, like, there's a world where the Chiefs, like, fall asleep and was like, oh, bleep, it's June 8th. We forgot.
$40 million.
We owe $40 million guaranteed contract for 28, no matter what. What are we doing?
Does Kelce pull a Gilmesh and give it back? Does he pull a Gil and say, hey, no, I know?
Can you do that, though? I mean, I don't know if you can even do that with the contract. Like, oh, my God.
Those agents would not be super happy.
Yes. Like,
those agents are going to be hard to reach for those 7 days.
Hey, Brian Shea, did you went ahead and had that contract detail taken care of on June 1st, right? Yeah, I did. Yeah, right. Because I just got a call from the league about something about $40 million. So they just go, I'm going to call them back, but I just want to make sure with you that we definitely did that early, because I had sent you the email reminder that we were going to circle back on June 1st to make sure that we have post June 1 release on this contract, so it's $7 million over 2 years and not $47 million.
Yeah.
We're good, right?
Yeah, well, 95%. It's a Bill Belichick. I voted for Bill Belichick. Well, I'm 95% sure.
I can't imagine that I wouldn't have put the paperwork in to release Travis Kelce.
That doesn't sound like me.
Yeah. Are you sure?
Not remembering to do this on June 1st does not sound like me. I know we gave ourselves a week buffer, which is also great. Yeah. It's like June 1st, let's give ourselves a week just in case we're on vacation, we forget, we oversleep one day.
We all got the flu and we're incapacitated.
What's going on? We couldn't get out of the panic room or the safe room, whatever it is. We tried to find our escape room as a group, and we've been in there for 5 days, and we can't get out. We finally get out, and we still have time to go ahead and release Travis Kelce, so we save $40 million and don't have to write him that check. Whew! We've given ourselves a week. It's June 8th. Which is great.
Just smart.
Yeah, it's like June 8th, not 1st or 2nd or 3rd, June 8th. We got a full week to figure this out. So there you go. I'm fine with it. And it's $4.9 million this year. 3.5 next year, 3.5 the year after that.
For, by the way, a still top 7 tight end in the NFL right now.
Now, if they make the playoffs, go to the Super Bowl, and he plays all of those snaps that he has to get to, it would then be $6.5 million next year, because those not likely to be earned incentives will go on next year's cap. Let's hope they add $3 million to next year's cap.
Yeah,
that means Travis Kelce played a lot, and they played in the Super Bowl. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We got a couple of teams in the NCAA tournament sound bites that we have to eliminate in our bracket of sound. We got sports or leisure coming up at 1 o'clock, $25 at Johnny's Tavern. We'll be giving away for some sports or leisure. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, eliminate some sound bites in our bracket of sound next.
I like to win, you like to win, but even if you lose, you can still win. Let me explain, because FanDuel is offering an early win on your pre-live moneyline bets for college basketball when your team goes up 10 points. And it stays a win no matter how it ends. Let's say your team goes up 10 and they lose. Well, they went up 10, you place that bet, what happens? Well, you still win. Right now, for example, Ohio State and TCU are playing. Well, TCU at one point was up 13. If you had the money line on TCU, they went up 10 already. You already won. Well, Ohio State started to make a little comeback here. They closed it to 3, now 6. Let's just say Ohio State comes back and wins this game. Oh, no, you lost. But no, you didn't. Because all right there, that money line of a lead of 10 or more, you are a winner. Ding, ding, ding. It's all right there on FanDuel. Plus, you get paid instantly when you win. So all you need to do is visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. Bet the bracket with FanDuel right now.
21 plus and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Tokens are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including token expiration, market requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I will continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you. Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy heading up until 2 o'clock. We got Sports or Leisure at 1 o'clock. There are now 4 games rolling in the NCAA tournament. TCU, Ohio State, a 2-point game with 8:40 to go. Nebraska up 16 on Troy at half. Louisville is up 6 on USF with 10 minutes to go in the first half there. And Wisconsin up by 2 over High Point. That game just tipped off a couple of minutes ago. They're up 5-3. Wisconsin is. Our coverage of the NCAA Tournament March Madness presented by Miva Medical, the Bob Site Auto Group, Healthy Sleep Midwest, Plaza Aesthetics and Wellness, JR Roofing, and Hollywood Casino. We had those games last night, and the play-in games took place. Should we eliminate the 16 seed first? Let's do that. So we eliminate Lehigh because Prairie View A&M won last night, and Lehigh is out. So in our zone bracket of sound, we have lost Lehigh. That is this sound.
Can we not be part of this kind of three-way?
Gone. Sorry, Mick. No
You
more
won't run.
You can't anymore because you lost.
The answer's no.
Yeah, you can't.
The answer is you cannot be part of that
Yeah.
three-way. I don't know with whom.
Well, not anymore because when the bracket is released, it's a 1 seed versus, and then there are 2 16 seeds listed there. That's a 3-way.
That is a three-way.
But Lehigh can no longer be a part of the 3-way.
Mick, sorry, you cannot be part of this three-way.
Yeah, because they lost. So it's now just going to be a 1-on-1 with Prairie View A&M. And is that Florida, right? Prairie View A&M in Florida, yes, because Sienna's playing Duke. So Prairie View A&M and Florida. But we also maintained Miami of Ohio. That means we lost SMU. And by losing SMU in the tournament, SMU is this sound that is now gone.
This is a great view of it here because so far above the green, downwind you can get onto this green, but Scheffler.
I love the clapping for it, too.
What are you laughing about?
The sound off the club face.
It's almost like they're clapping for the wind that was broken, not the shot.
Just a little bit of wind from behind. Just helped to ease down the green.
As well. What a shot from Scheffler. And off the back of his tee shot in the 16th, that one there.
Just a little bit of wind from behind.
In fair, that's a bold move. What happens, if it turns out to be a little more than a rooting interest?
Not sure.
You're
Not
on
sure.
the course. You're.
Yeah.
I guess at least you're wearing pants.
Well, I mean, it could be a wardrobe malfunction. You can go and get changed. Remember, it was Mitch Morse that told the story on the podcast about when you see wardrobe or a jersey malfunction, whatever, that they got to go back into the green tent, and it's listed as that. That's what it's for.
It's like a Green Day album.
Yeah, that's right.
Dookie.
Okay, there you go. Appreciate that, man.
Well, I wasn't. It was not gonna be American Idiot. It's got to be.
No. That's how. By the way, that's how South Florida's playing right now.
Yeah.
Now, credit to Louisville, they're playing well, but South Florida playing like some dookie. We got Sports or Leisure coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, and we'll be giving away $25 to Johnny's Tavern for Sports or Leisure. By the way, Ohio State has just taken the lead, coming all the way back from down, 13 to TCU, and they led this game 5-2. That's the last time they led. Now they're up 51-50. TCU is going to have to get their stuff together with 7 minutes to go. Now in a dogfight after completely controlling the game, and now Ohio State taking the lead up by 1 with 7 minutes to go.
It was like TCU KU. Where in the Big 12, where it's like, hey, they're controlling it, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, they're not.
Nope, not anymore. But still 7 minutes to figure that out for TCU. They've had Ohio State come back, and then they took control again. Ohio State came back, they took control again, up by 10. And Ohio State has gone on a run since TCU went back up by 10.
Did the Frogs lose their horns?
I don't know.
You're into sports, but nothing wrong with a little leisure time. Why not both?
You're going to have a heart attack by the time you're 40 if you don't learn to relax.
It's time for sports or leisure on The Zone with Jason Anderson.
All right, let's play a little sports or leisure on this Thursday edition of the show.
Fact.
Ohio State up by 4 on TCU. Going to the free throw line is
Also
Ohio
fact.
State. 5.5 to go in that one. TCU was once up by 13 and then down by 5. That equals 18 points for Ohio State that they came back from being down 13 to go up 5 at one point. They are up 4. TCU's got the ball, 5.5 minutes to go. Louisville is all over South Florida, 24-11, heading back to the free throw line for them. Wisconsin's up 3 on High Point, 15-12, and Nebraska is up by 12 on Troy. They led by as many as 18 in the first half. They are up 12 now in the second half.
I just thought of something with Lehigh losing. Do you know how a French person who eats a wheat brownie, what he says?
Lehigh?
I'm Lehigh.
I don't know that that's what they say. I don't know.
Lebo, get out of here. Lebo's making fun of my French accent. He said it sounds Irish.
As he should.
Your hand got caught in the cookie jar. I smacked that.
By the way, Price Sanford has just hit his 7th three for Nebraska in this game. They're up 15, so Price Sanford 7 threes. Gosh, let me look. I got it real quick. We did our player poll last night, and I just want to see whose team was Price Sanford on. Let me see.
I'm assuming yours.
Fifth round pick, Nebraska. Price Sanford. Oh, that's a pretty good pick. All right, very good. That works. I'll take it. If you're keeping score, which I hope Curtis is. Let's play a little sports or leisure. Well, we will keep score that if you get a sports question and a leisure question both right, you win the prize. Nebraska, by the way, back up 18. That prize is $25 to Johnny's Tavern, Premier Sports Bar in Kansas City. 10 area locations, including Lawrence and Topeka. Lawrence, where they have the Hawk Talk Coaches Show with Bill Self and Lance Leipold. It is Johnny's Tavern. Enjoy some Johnny's Tavern today, sitting around the house, vegging out on some college basketball all day long. 4 games on the tube right now in college basketball for the NCAA tournament. Let's go through the categories here on the sports side. We've got 2 categories on the sports side. We have Chiefs free agents as we're going through free agency. So the free agents for the Chiefs and some of those players that they have signed in years past. And we have NCAA tournament questions category on the sports side. Chiefs free agents and NCAA tournament. What about leisure, Sterling?
We have potpourri because, potpourri.
Because it needs to smell better in here.
We have yacht rock because the weather's nice and it's time to bring back yacht rock. It's yacht rock music season. And then we have riddles.
Okay. Riddle me this. Potpourri and yacht rock. It's 80 degrees. It's what everybody expects around here is for high school baseball to get started with 90-degree weather. You always, Sterling, you're used to that, right? High school baseball getting underway. It's like, first games of the season, man. Make sure you got your extra water. Make sure you got your cold towels and your cooler because it's going to be in the 90s for the first game.
Rocking long johns.
Right? Everybody's bundled up in the first games of the season, and now we got 90-degree weather going on. TCU has just taken back the lead, 58-57.
This
on
is
Ohio
March.
State. That's right. All right, I'm ready to go. Sterling, you ready to go?
Oh, dude, born ready.
Michael Darcia, you ready to go?
I've been ready.
Look at you, man. Look at you. You have been ready. All right, so 913-3-810-810, playing a little sports or leisure. And let's start with who has been holding the longest. That would be Charles leading us off here on this Thursday edition of Sports or Leisure. Charles, what side would you like to start with, the sports side or the leisure side?
The sports and the NCAA.
All right, NCAA tournament. Let's go with this one. The 4 coaches that are 1 seeds this year combined in their careers for just 3 1 seeds before this year. So Shire and May and Lloyd and Golden combined had only been a 1 seed 3 times in their career. There are 3 coaches all time that have been a 1 seed 10 or more times for their career. One of them is still active. Who is the only active coach to be a 1 seed 10 or more times in their career? Michael knows the answer to this because he's got the paper in front of him. Sterling doesn't know the answer to this because he's watching basketball.
I was not paying attention to the question literally at all. I couldn't.
The question is essentially who's the only current coach with more than with double digit in their career being a 1 seed.
Oh,
there's one coach that has 10 or more seasons of being a 1 seed.
Yeah, that is.
Todd got it right. Sterling didn't know.
Well, I can't.
Todd
say
doesn't
it.
even have the piece of paper in front of him.
I can't. I don't do either. I just can't say it out loud because they give it
right.
away.
That's right.
Like in the Chili Peppers.
Yep. Charles, you want to throw a dart here, man? It's an active coach.
Oh, gosh. It's got to be either Calipari or Salt would be my first guess.
You say. And guess.
I'm going to say Calipari.
Calipari, not bad. Even if he was a 1 seed that many times, they would have been vacated. I joke. I kid. Charles, it is not Coach Cal. Thank you for playing, man. I appreciate it. 913-3-810-810 is the phone number. That question is out there, along with plenty of others that we will get to and ask. We head to the phone lines, and we bring in Cajun next up on Sports Radio 810. Cajun, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Well, let's do leisure, and you only have just the 2, huh?
What's up, Cajun?
He's got 3.
We have 3,
Yeah, 3 of
Cajun.
them.
Trifecta of riddles, yacht rock, and potpourri.
Man, you wouldn't believe how hard the riddles are for me sometimes. Even once you say them, it's like, oh, man.
Of course it is. It's so easy.
Yeah, I don't know. They're hard for me. I want the yacht rock. I might have a better chance of that, please.
All right, yacht rock. Reeling in the years, peg.
Oh, man, that's so easy. Steely Dan.
That is the easy one. Steely Dan. It's because I like you, Cajun. That's why I gave you the easier one.
Thank you.
Like some.
Break it on that number.
There we go. All right, so on to the sports side. We got Chiefs free agents and NCAA tournament. What say you? We got a question out there in NCAA tournament, but plenty of fresh ones.
Let's do Chiefs. I'm going to get it wrong anyway.
All right. He went undrafted out of college, but signed by the Chiefs, not as a rookie, but after a number of years with his previous team. I can't tell you what team because it would give it away. He would be a backup running back for a running back that would go on to rush for 2,000 yards in a season. So the Chiefs' his next destination to get a real shot to play, an overlooked deal, 15 attempts and 51 yards in his first 2 games for the Chiefs. Pretty less than stellar, pretty underwhelming. But from that point on, his 3rd game on, he would become a Chief all-time great.
Yep.
For real, all-time great?
For real, all-time great. Not a sarcastic, like a legit, for real, all-time great. He's a backup running back at his previous spot, backing up a running back that would rush for 2,000 yards.
There's a good hint at some point that doesn't necessarily give it away.
Yeah, that's a hint, but I can't remember who back that was it. Dickerson?
No, not with the Chiefs.
No? You don't know? Oh, okay. I don't know. I give up, man.
Oh, Cajun. You want to throw a dart, though? It's running back.
Huh?
No,
I don't know.
Guess a Chiefs running back legend, Cajun. Just throw a dart and maybe you get it.
Oh man, not the guy from Louisiana, is it? Why can't I think? I know his name. He's in the Ring of Honor. Is that him? You know what I'm talking about? Joe Delaney.
Joe Delaney. It was not him. Cajun.
Draft choice. I don't even know.
He was. Yes,
he was.
Yeah, Cajun, you're the man as always, brother. I appreciate you playing, man. There you go. 913-3-810-810. I missed Cajun earlier. I was doing something around. I don't remember what I was doing, but I came back up here and Michael was like, Cajun was just here.
We've had Reed's Nuggies and Cajun stop by in one day. How lucky are we? And it's March Madness in 80-degree weather.
Lucky. Let's go to John next up on Sports Radio 810. John, sports or leisure, what side would you like to start with, sir?
Well, on sports, let's clean up the NCAA question.
All right. So who was the only active coach to be a 1 seed double-digit times in his career?
That's Coach Self.
Yes. It's not that hard to be a 1 seed, if you ask me. A lot of these people make it out to be a little worse and tougher than it actually is. But we go and win too. Over to Leisure with Sterling.
Yeah. So we have Yacht Rock, we have Riddles, and we have Potpourri.
Let's do Yacht Rock.
All right, Yacht Rock. It is. Kiss you all over. I wanna kiss you all over.
Oh, that's Exile.
That is Exile. Good one. Good pull.
Nice job. Well done, sir. We'll get your information, put you on hold. Congratulations. Well done.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
I don't like saying it on air because that feels like one I'm going to get cut on, but it's a good song.
Yeah. Yep. Till the night closes in. Is that the song?
Yeah.
There you go. You know what I think of when I hear that song?
Is that the one in it's an Adam Sandler, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Happy Gilmore?
I want to kiss you all over and over and again. Yes.
I just know it's Adam Sandler.
Night closes. Yeah. You not want breakfast? All right. Back to the phone lines we go. And Avery next up on Sports Radio 810. Avery, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Well, Sterling.
Yes.
The turntables have turned. I recall you asked me a riddle of why did the golfer bring an extra pair of pants? And I said it was in case he crapped himself.
Yep.
I said it was in case he got a hole in one.
Oh, forgot about that. Avery, that's incredible.
Nice job, Avery.
Honestly, great memory, great callback.
You should have been right, Avery. You should have been right, Avery.
That's a winner.
Yep. Should have been right.
Do you still got that Priest Holmes question out there?
Yeah, we do. Do you want to throw a dart at which running back it was?
I'll say Priest Holmes.
Well done. It was Priest Holmes. Over
Baltimore Super Bowl champion, Priest Holmes.
Right. That's yeah, sure. And then and then you had Jamal Lewis rush for 2,000 yards. There.
Yeah, Jamal Lewis.
Over to Leisure with Sterling.
Yacht Rock, Riddles, or Potpourri?
Let's try Yacht Rock. I got the first two, so you'll probably ask me something I've never heard of.
No, come on. You've heard all of
Let's
these.
hope.
You Ride Like the Wind, Sailing.
Oh, yeah, Christopher Cross, and That Night the Wind features Michael McDowell.
It does. You are correct. And by the way, I'm saying this. I've always said this. Christopher Cross over the Eagles any given Sunday.
Chris Cross was not a Yacht Rock group.
Christopher Cross is the premier Yacht Rock
not
dude.
A Yacht Rock group. Not a Yacht Rock group. I don't care what you guys
Top
say.
tier.
When I think of Yacht Rock, I don't think Chris Cross. Okay.
Can you imagine Christopher Cross dressed with like jeans backwards, and like a backwards jersey?
Yes.
Imagine Christopher Cross singing "Jump."
Well, because it's got to be. Look, everything is to the back with a little slack. Because inside out is wiggity, 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 whack. All right, we know that.
It's wiggity, wiggity, whack.
Avery, we'll put you on hold. Congratulations, well done, sir.
I love Ludo.
Yeah, don't we all? Don't we all? There you go. There's another winner here on Sports Radio 810 WHB with a little sports or leisure. By the way, South Florida is back within 8. They've gone on a little bit of a run, a little bit of a spurt for South Florida, down 30-22. They were down 15 at one point. They had been just turning the ball over and turning the ball over and turning the ball over, and now they have about 3 or 4 different run-out dunks with Louisville turning the ball over. It is a tie game with 2 minutes to go with TCU and Ohio State. So we may do a listen-in on that here in just a little bit as that thing comes down to the end of the game. Let's bring in next up, holding the longest, is Bill. Bill, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Well, I'm pretty sure Johnny's going to be safe here. Let's go with the NCAA question.
All right, NCAA question for you.
I love the confidence.
Mr. Johnny will be safe. Let's see if he is. Who's the only team to defeat 3 number 1 seeds in an NCAA tournament?
Oh, this is, well, I can't say it.
Yeah, can't say it. Don't you dare say that, Sterling. Don't you say it. One team beat 3 number 1 seeds on their way to win a national title. That's a good move by TCU right there. And one. Bucket. Hoop in the harm.
Who was that? throw a dart. It was Connecticut.
It was not Connecticut. Bill, thank you. He was right. Johnny's a safe.
Johnny's a safe.
Bill, I appreciate it, man. Don't be a stranger. 913-381-0810. TCU now back up by 1. They got the hoop and the harm. Punched it in, and got fouled. TCU up
Was that
by
Brian Haney?
What? It was. It wasn't me. It was Brian Haney.
Wow.
Yes. Can we listen in a little bit on this one, Michael? Can we just send it out there and take a listen for what's going on there? Let's do it. Let's listen in here.
Surveys. Dribbles with the left hand. Finds Thornton left wing. Screen from Tilly. Now Thornton will drive middle. Back outside Mobley. He'll try a right wing 3. In and out. Rebound up for grabs. Popped into the air and out of bounds. Last touch by TCU. It was Pierre who got the hand on it, trying to bat it to one of his big men instead. Ohio State will keep possession with 20 to shoot.
Yeah, what recognition by Ohio State. Just, you can't get it with 2 hands, and you just trying to keep that thing active, hoping that your teammates can run it down. And clearly that was off of TCU.
So the officials asking the TCU bench to sit down. 1:20 to play, 61-59 Horned Frogs. Ohio State inbounds baseline near side. It's Thornton holding at his hip. Lob it to the free throw line. Royal face up against Robinson. Ripped through to his left, drive to his left, hang in the air. He got fouled. He missed it short, but Robinson is going to pick up the personal that's going to send Devin Royal to the free throw line to try to tie the game.
And this is where Devin Royal is at his best. He's so good at isolations, especially from that foul line area. Gave you a little pump fake, able to get to his left, and those broad shoulders able to draw contact. Opportunity for 2 free throws here.
Used every bit of that 6'6", 230-pound frame. 2 for 2 so far today. His first free throw is up and good. 61-60. Ohio State down by 1. Toulson out. Brock Harding in for TCU.
Well, you talked about neither of the players, very few of the players on either team have NCAA tournament experience. You can't tell this afternoon.
They're coming up huge in big moments. This one for the tie. The free throw up and good for Devin Royal. And the Pickerington, Ohio native ties the game at 61. 1:13 to play. Harding right to left for TCU. Fans on their feet here in Greenville. 20 to shoot now for Pierre on the left wing. Harding gets it back just in front of the midcourt stripe. 15 to shoot. Looking for Pierre. Curling off a screen. Down the middle. Kick out left corner 3. It's up. It's down. Micah Robinson. Bottom. 64-61 TCU. 50 seconds remaining. Ohio State looking for the response. It's Thornton on the right wing. Guarded by Pierre. Driving right. Outside Mobley. Picked up closely by Harding. Switch comes now with Edmonds. 13 to shoot. 39 seconds to play. Cross. Step back. Oh, Mobley thought about it. Thornton will take it on the right wing. And he drills the 3. Ties the game at 64. 30 seconds to play. 4-second difference. Shot clock and game clock. TCU will take the timeout. Bruce Thornton. Silent all day, and the leading scorer in Ohio State history has kept his team alive. All even at 64.
Boy, if you don't like NCAA.
All right, there you go, man. It is a barn burner there. TCU and Ohio State. About 27 seconds to go. 26.3 to be exact on the clock. 22 on the shot clock. TCU ball 64-64 after back-to-back threes exchanged. TCU in the corner. And then Ohio State in the corner, 9 versus 8, TCU and Ohio State.
How could you not be romantic about March Madness basketball?
I mean, you can. You don't have to be, but I don't know why you wouldn't
I'm
be. It's
so
great.
romantic
First
about
game
it.
out of the gates, man. By the way, High Point in Wisconsin. Wisconsin had a pretty sizable lead. High Point has now come back, and they are within 3 points of Wisconsin and heading to the free throw line. High Point is. So down 3 and getting free throws. Nebraska looks like their first tournament win is going to be safe. They are up by, let me do the quick math, 30 on Troy. So Nebraska leading Troy by 30 with 6.5 to go. Let's take it back out there to listen in.
Came into the lane and they were able to spray that out, and Michael Robinson able to knock down a 3. So defensive discipline here from Ohio State's going to have to be huge. They've got to keep that basketball out of the paint.
TCU has the possession arrow. Ohio State 1 timeout. TCU does not have any remaining. Both teams are in the bonus for a 1-and-1 if there's a foul on the floor. 22 to shoot, 26.3 to play for the right to continue and to face the winner of Duke or Siena in our second game here from Greenville. But this has been quite the way to start the day. TCU ball, 64 apiece. Pierre will inbound on the near sideline with Punch, Edmonds, Harding, and Robinson in there. Starting five out there for Ohio State. Get it in for Harding at the midcourt stripe with 20 to shoot. 24 to play. Fans stay standing in Greenville. 15 to shoot. Harding holding on his left hip. Now they'll run the offense with 10 on the clock. He gets a screen to his right with 8 to shoot. Harding looking to drive on Mobley. Stops, feeds, punch, drives middle, cut off, punch, 3 to shoot. Bounce it inside. Edmonds left block goes up strong and puts it home. TCU by 2. 66-64 with 4.1 seconds remaining. Timeout Ohio State.
There you go. Ohio State uses their last timeout. Boy, this is a fantastic finish. 4 seconds to go, and there was nothing, it looked like nothing going until there with about 3 seconds on the shot clock. Punch sees his big man down inside the paint, and a nice little bounce pass. Kids, learn the bounce pass. Bounce pass into the big and turns around, lays it up. 4.1 on the clock. Let me tell you this, down by 2, tie game, 1-point game, doesn't matter. 4-point anything, you can't drive the length of the court and score. You just can't do that. There was no reason for me to say that. I apologize to myself because that was an unnecessary
Ohio State's
shot
going to hit a 3.
at
You know
myself.
that.
4.1 left. They're not going to advance the ball to half court. Thank God. They don't have that. So 4.1 seconds left. We'll send it back out there. It is a 2-point lead for TCU right now over Ohio State. TCU led by as many as 13 in this game. Ohio State came back and took the lead at one point in the game. TCU now back up 66-64. No timeouts remaining. So this is not one of those to where we go back out there and they'll take some more timeouts. The clock is now set at 4.3. Oh, good God. 4.3. Here we go.
To be able to handle it a little bit better, we'll see if he gets it in his hand.
Bynum, Royal, Mobley, Thornton, and Tilley. The starting five will stay out for Jake Diebler's team. Bruce Thornton has played all 40 minutes in this game.
If you're TCU, you cannot foul.
It would be a 1-and-1 for Ohio State. Thornton will inbound 94 feet away. Pierre, Edmonds, Harding, Punch, and Robinson are the 5 for TCU. Thornton can run the baseline if he chooses. 4.3 seconds left. TCU by 2. Get it in for Tilley. Right back to Thornton. 2 seconds left. Thornton's going to put up from half court for the win. No! Off the backboard and harmlessly falls to the court for TCU, who gets a massive win in a final second bucket from Edmonds. 66-64. The Horned Frogs are still dancing in Greenville.
All right, there you go. TCU knocking off the 8-seed Ohio State. One game upset already. The brackets are busted. You take your 8-seed and you get out of here, Ohio State. TCU, Big 12 over Big 10. We'll take a time out, play some sports or leisure on the other side of the break. More's on next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB 913-381-0810. Let's get back to playing some sports or leisure. TCU with the win over Ohio State by 2, 66-64, getting the day started. And in about 2.5 minutes of gameplay, Nebraska will finish off their first ever NCAA tournament win. But as it stands right now, because that game is not over, as it stands right now, the underdogs are 5-0 straight up.
Wow.
5-0 straight up, the underdogs so far. All 4 of the play-in game underdogs won, and TCU was a 1.5 dog to Ohio State. They won. But again, Troy will not win this one, so the underdogs will be 5-1. It is a 2-point lead at halftime for Wisconsin over High Point, 41-39. We told you that was going to be a high-scoring game. That is pacing for 160 in that particular game. So 913-381-0810. Let's reset the categories here. We were playing sports or leisure in the first segment, and then we had that fun live listen into the ending of that game. We've got Chiefs free agents and NCAA tournament trivia on the sports side. What about the leisure side?
We have riddles, we have yacht rock, and we have potpourri.
All right, there we go. 913-381-0810 to the phone lines we go, and we bring in Andrew. Next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Andrew, sports or leisure, what side would you like to start with?
I'm going to start with sports.
All right, we got Chiefs free agents and NCAA tournament.
I'll go to the NCAA tournament.
Do you want the question that's already out there about the number 1 seeds or a fresh one?
Yeah, I'll do that one.
All right, the only team to defeat 3 number 1 seeds in one NCAA tournament.
Arizona.
That's right, Arizona 97. Well done. Simon Says Championship is what that was Billy Packer, by the way, with the Simon Says Championship. Over to leisure with Sterling.
Potpourri, yacht rock, or riddles.
Let's try the potpourri.
All right, potpourri it is. This is used to measure the spicy heat of peppers.
Isn't that the Richter scale?
Earthquakes. Close.
Oh, dang it.
Close. That is a scale.
Oh, man.
This is a scale.
Oh, darn it.
Stupid. I'm not sure.
I'll even count 2 things for this. There's 2 things you could say, and because I'm a generous man.
Yeah. Okay.
What is used to measure the spicy heat of peppers? And no, it's not your tongue.
Yeah, that's one way of measuring it. And that's after the fact, though. You're already pot committed at that
I'm drawing
point.
a blank.
All right.
Throw dart real quick.
MIZ.
There we go. I like that.
Okay, you know what?
That's
winner in my book. Yeah, winner in my book. Good call.
Andrew, thanks for playing, man. 913-381-0810 is the phone number. Minute and a half to go for Nebraska to win their first tournament game. We head to the phone lines, and Tim joins us next on Sports Radio 810. Tim, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
So, just to clarify, that last one, Andrew did not get the question correct?
Correct. He did not get the question correct with the
Okay,
heat.
as much as I love to honor my godfather, Michael McDonald, and the yacht rock scene, I'm going to have to clean that one up.
All right.
What is it?
Clean it.
Scoville.
It is the Scoville scale.
Yeah. What was the other one? You said you would take 2 answers.
What's it called? Capsillion. That's what's capsaicin. Yeah, whatever. That's what's in the peppers that makes them spicy.
Yeah, sure.
But I would have accepted it. But Scoville scale was the real one I was looking for. So congratulations, Tim. You nailed it.
Thank you.
All right. Over the sports side, we got Chiefs free agents, and we have NCAA tournament.
Golly. Much as I want to do the tournament, I'm afraid I'll probably not get that. I'll do the Chiefs free agents.
All right, Chiefs free agents for you. He caught a lot of flack from Broncos fans for leaving in the middle of the season to sign with the Kansas City Chiefs. He had no problem dishing it right back to Broncos fans. He would spend the next 6 years in Kansas City as a receiver, 2 different 1,000-yard seasons, and a total of 25 touchdown receptions for this guy, catching passes from Trent Green, Damon Heward, Brody Croyle, etc., while playing wide receiver for both Dick Vermeil and Herm Edwards.
Does he have a astronomical phenomenon associated with his nickname? I think. Am I thinking of the
I don't think so.
I
don't know what his nickname would be.
I think I've narrowed it down, but I think I'm not going with that Bad Moon Rising.
No, it's not that one.
No, I don't think it's part of Yacht Rock either. That's Creedence Clearwater, I believe. Let's go with Eddie Kinnison.
Eddie Kinnison, well done. Eddie Kinnison is correct. Came over mid-season from the Broncos. Nice job. Put you on hold. Tim, get your information. Congratulations. Well done.
Yeah, thanks. And go Big Red.
There you go. Nice job. Hey, congrats on that. There you go, man. That game just went final 76-47. Nebraska gets the win over Troy. They left absolutely no doubt in getting that win and moving on to face off against the winner of Vandy and who does Vandy play? Who does Vandy play?
They play a 12 seed.
Yeah, I don't have the bracket in front of me.
I'll pull it up right here because I care.
Pull it up right there.
Because
I should know it. I've got
you.
most all of these games memorized as to who's playing who.
McNeese.
That's right. Yep. Vandy State is playing just McNeese. So they traded states.
They traded states, yeah.
Yes. All right. 913-3810810 to the phone lines we go. Ryan waiting patiently to join the show. Ryan, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Let's do the Chiefs free agent.
All right.
They just tased Ryan.
They just tased. Ryan, are you good from your getting tased?
I'm good.
Hey, thank God, man. Thank God, dude. This man was originally signed out of college as a tight end, being undrafted by the Cowboys. The Chiefs took a look and thought he might be a good offensive lineman if he could make the transition. They signed him and sent him to NFL Europe to learn the trade for the offensive line. He came back to be a 6-time Pro Bowl guard and a future Chiefs Hall of Famer. NFL Europe. It's crazy to think about this guy as a guard and being as good as he was for the Chiefs and the fact that he was a tight end.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Starting his career as a tight end with the Cowboys. And you know what? Shout out the Chiefs for seeing what he had and said that guy can be a pretty good guard if he can learn it. And let's, by the way, send him to Europe. NFL, as Carl Peterson would say, NFL Europa.
Are you thirsty?
I could use.
Could you repeat it one more time?
Yeah. Signed out of college, undrafted by the Cowboys to play tight end. Chiefs saw him on the practice squad, took a look, thought he might be a good offensive lineman, signed him, sent him to NFL Europe to learn how to be an offensive lineman, came back and eventually was a 6-time Pro Bowl guard and now a Chiefs Hall of Famer.
That was a pretty good hint I gave, wasn't it?
It was good. I am kind of thirsty. I could use something to quench the thirst. There.
Fasano?
No, he was a guard for the Chiefs. He was a tight end when he got to the Cowboys, but the Chiefs saw that he could be a good offensive lineman, so they signed him, and they were right. Throw a dart in case you're thirsty. If you're thirsty,
Hendershot?
It is not him. Ryan, thank you for playing, man. I appreciate it.
And they just tased dry.
You know what? Sorry, but I guess they may have, yes. Hoiberg's son being interviewed on TNT right now. I mean, come on. Nothing against that. I'm just saying. Let's go back to the phone lines. Hey, Reed's Nuggies here on Sports or Leisure. Man, I appreciate you stopping by, dude. The cookies have been awesome, man. Thank you for bringing those in.
Well, I appreciate you guys bringing joy and laughter through my work day. I've been listening to 810 for 25 years. And nice. I'm like 43, so.
you know what? I'm 45, and I've been listening to it for 30 years. So yeah, I mean,
way to one up him.
95, 96.
Way to one up, but
not 18, not 810 though, because I started when it was 1510, right?
That's true.
I mean, there you go. Yeah. So Reed's Nuggies has been there from the beginning. I know that, man.
Yeah. I probably won a lot of stuff from you guys over the years. But anyway, I just wanted to. I take so much. I just wanted to give back.
No, thank you. They're
delicious.
Oh, they're so good, man. They are really good. Thank you for not putting anything in them as well.
Just the dark chocolate pretzel cookies.
Oh my
no,
God, so
we got nervous at first that maybe they were fun cookies, and we were thinking we might have a very intriguing last hour of the show.
Yeah, Sterling was actually disappointed that they were just regular old, really good tasting cookies.
Yeah, I thought maybe we were gonna have a little.
a little bit of fun with those. They are
he have his own High Point versus Wisconsin.
There you go. Exactly right. Last night was his Lehigh, and that team ain't here anymore. What side do you want to start with, Mr. Nuggies? You want to do the sports side or the leisure side?
Give me that Brian Waters question.
I love it. There you go. It is Brian Waters. The Chiefs signed him as a tight end, sent him to Europe to be an offensive lineman, and now a Chiefs Hall of Famer. Leisure with Sterling.
Potpourri, Yacht Rock, or Riddles?
Well, to keep with the funny cookies, I'll go with the potpourri.
All right, potpourri. We'll go with...
I like that.
All right. In the United States, what's the most common surname? It's also a former Chiefs quarterback.
It's my wife's maiden name, too. If that's the hint that gives it away, then you and I have problems.
He did. He said Smith. It wasn't that.
Wait a minute.
Wait, is it Montana?
No. It's
Gerbach. It has to be Gerbach. I knew it.
Bono. That's what it is.
Sexiest man alive, that was Gerbach.
That's exactly right.
You bring us cookies. I'll give you great hints to help easy questions.
There you go. Smith is correct. Well done. Hey, we will put you on hold and get your information. Congratulations, man. I appreciate it. Thank you again for dropping by these dynamite cookies, man. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Absolutely. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, continue rolling. One more segment to go here on this Thursday. Nothing really to live listen into with Nebraska dominating Troy. A few games underway in the first half, a couple of them at halftime. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, continue rolling. More Zone right after this. All right, wrapping up this Thursday edition of the show right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, heading up until 2 o'clock. One more segment here of Sports or Leisure. Let's get back to the phone lines. John, next up. Sports or Leisure. John, what side do you want to start with?
Hey, fellas, how are you?
Good, man. Hope you're doing well.
Good. Is that question about the peppers still open, or did it get answered?
That one got answered. The Scoville scale got answered.
All right, cool. I'll take leisure.
All right, do you want Yacht Rock, Potpourri, or Riddles?
Riddles is fine.
All right, Riddles, love this. What has a head and a tail, but no body?
Oh, I know.
A coin.
Yeah,
a coin. See, riddles are fun. They're not that hard all the time.
That's right. On to the sports side, we have free agents, and we have the NCAA tournament. Chiefs free agents, by the way.
I guess free agents is fine.
All right, this is the last one for today. We'll have a fresh batch next week. Well, actually, you know what? Next week will be opening day questions for Royals, since next Friday is first game of the season. But one of the best offensive lines in Chiefs history saw this man in the middle as the center. He came to KC from Chicago, would leave the Chiefs for the Denver Broncos before returning to end his career in Kansas City. His wife has plenty of knowledge of what it's like to be a survivor of 16 years in the NFL.
Casey Wegman?
Casey Wegman is correct. That is, he didn't even need the hint. Didn't even need the hint of his wife in Survivor. That is a winner, though. We'll put you on hold, John. Congratulations. Well done.
Thanks, fellas. Have a good weekend.
Absolutely. You too. 913-387-810.
I know. And crush and left.
That wraps up the free agents, though. But we got plenty of NCAA tournament questions left. We go to Kurt next up on Sports Radio 810. Kurt, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Let's start with Yacht Rock.
All right, Yacht Rock it is. We will go with Caribbean Queen.
I can picture him.
You sing it. Sing it for us.
Hearts can beat as one, something like that. No more love on the
can
line.
beat as one. Caribbean
Oh, geez,
Queen.
come on.
Not a lake.
Not hard.
Not a river. Not a lake. Not a river.
No, it's not. It's not either of those.
Billy Ocean.
Billy Ocean. There we go.
That is an entire ocean.
Thanks for the softball.
Yes, it's an entire ocean there.
It's nice weather outside. I figure I can help out a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
I appreciate it.
Put it on a tee. Let's go play some baseball. Over to the sports side. All we have is NCAA tournament questions left.
I guess I'll take NCAA tournament questions. I don't suppose you have a KU in there or anything.
If I had a KU one, then that would be the answer there. So that wouldn't help at all. Then you would
have
get
something
it right.
else that then I can answer, KU.
No, let's go with this one. Where is that at? Okay, you know what? Who holds the NCAA tournament record for most points scored in a tournament for his career? The career point scoring leader for the NCAA tournament.
Oh, geez. Someone that was there a lot.
Uh-huh. Someone was at school for a while, in the tournament for a while, deep runs every year, famous shots.
Yeah.
Cheap shot.
Yeah.
Cheap shot, you'd probably be saying T-Rob or something, would you?
No, it's not. Nope. That wasn't a cheap. That was the foul. He went up to block him. That wasn't a cheap shot. This guy had an actual cheap shot in a very big game. That then later on in that game had a pretty significant shot that's played off.
Leitner?
Yep. Leitner is correct. Well done.
Okay.
Leitner, that is correct. Because he stepped on Aminu Timberlake for Kentucky.
I was almost wondering if it was going to be like Pete Maravich, but he probably wouldn't have played enough games back then.
Nope, it's Leitner, 407 points in the NCAA tournament.
Wow.
That Leitner scored, and he also has one step on Timberlake. Kurt, we'll put you on hold, get your information. Congratulations, well done.
All right.
Look at that.
Thank you.
There you go. Wrapping up this Thursday. So we've got an upset in the books with TCU knocking off Ohio State, the 9 over the 8, and Nebraska moving on with their first ever tournament win. So congratulations to the Husker fans.
Dude, so much corn is going to be husks.
As it should.
Today.
You know what? Hit a lot of threes. Now they get ready for Vandy and McNeese, the winner of that one, in their next game to see if they can not only win but go to the Sweet 16. Program coming your way next.